I'd love to dig into Nintendo
we got
way
other
more,
things.
but it is officially time to begin. Officially, Bloodworth sanctioned.
Are we gonna wait for this to end?
Oh no, I don't think so. I don't know, man.
Another hour?
Yeah,
Just right in the background?
yeah,
I
yeah.
haven't seen anything crazy.
It's cool background.
Right around the background. Let's start with the second one.
Start with the second one. Okay, and should we get Brandon up here?
Yeah, go.
It's up to you.
Swap you out if you want me to come in there.
Yeah. You're the just played man.
Go get some food.
Yeah, Brandon,
Oh, yeah.
you got a real Phil Spencer look about you today. I think it might be the haircut.
The green tie.
Yeah, and the green tie.
tie.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. And officially begin.
I don't know if I've ever sat
On that side,
in
yeah.
the seat. It's like sitting in the passenger seat if you're
Yeah,
like
the elite
driving
seat.
all day every day. Well, hi guys.
Hey.
Welcome back to Game Trailers.
Brandon Jones, first, I've been waiting for this moment to make you jealous.
To make me jealous.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've probably already done this, though. You've probably already done it. But today, I played as Darth Maul in Disney Infinity 3.0.
I've played that playset. I played Twilight of the Republic, but I was Anakin running through there.
Okay.
So
Yeah, you got
I've yet to play Darth Maul.
Darth Maul.
I think
He's
Huber
got
wins
some
that.
moves. He's got
Yeah.
some moves, Jones.
So now this was
Sorry.
not an appointment that you had. You were going by the Disney booth and you're like, let's do it.
Wide open, had to do it for you.
Thank you. I
Brandon
appreciate that,
Jones.
Huber. So I'm going second on the list. Second from the very top.
Yeah.
Number 2. Okay. Yeah, you could say Last Guardian's a big game. You could say this is you could say this was like an announcement that was made at the show that people listened
Little
to
one.
and remembered and are thinking about possibly. And definitely a question. I mean, there's like so many tiers of Last Guardian. It's like, are we going to hear anything new? Okay, if we hear anything new, are we going to see anything new? If we see anything new, is it going to be actually gameplay, or is it just going to be like some weird trailer? And miracle of miracles, if we get gameplay, are we actually going to play this game? Did you hold a PS4 controller
No.
and play The Last Guardian? Okay.
Did not play. Ueda played, though, in the room.
Yeah.
Super
Wow.
intimate demonstration. It was just a very grateful presentation. The vibe was that we are so humbled and honored to be making this and that you want this. They kept talking about the reaction last night at Sony. So he played. He played an extended demo from the one at E3. It began roughly 10 to 15 minutes before that demo started. So it was a prequel to that. The Trico, the animal, they don't have a name for it other than Trico.
Okay.
You're in this confined space with it, and it's just lying there, and it has spears in its side. So the boy climbs up and pulls the spears out, and it, yelps in pain. You just feel this yelp. It's so much power. And then the best part was that there were barrels lying around all over the ground, and the boy can pick up the barrel and throw it up in the air, and it bites and eats the barrel like food. I guess there's food or water in the barrels. So the way it unfolded just felt so natural. That was my biggest takeaway, was that you're in this space, you don't really have a clear objective, clear direction at all. You're going around, you're clearing the barrels, and he's eating them. And then he's kind of snooping around, and then he kind of climbs up to this window, and then you climb up him, and he was smelling like more barrels that were up there. So then you feed him all the barrels, and then now you're separated from him, and you have to find a way to open this giant grate for him to get through. So the biggest things that Ueda was saying were that they've taken the lessons from Aiko, the boy and the girl, how they interact to solve puzzles, and they've taken the scaling of the
Shadow of the
creatures
Colossus.
from Shadow of the Colossus. So he kept driving that home, that we're taking both of the best parts from Ico and Shadow of the Colossus to give Last Guardian.
And so you had this kind of setup, you're getting to. This seems like a tutorial, or it seems like maybe the beginning of the game.
Yeah, it seemed very early.
If you're just kind of learning how to feed, Trico, that like maybe this is you.
Yeah.
Introducing to him. So was that kind of like in the interest of time leading into the demo that we saw, or did that lead directly into it?
So then he, the boy is separated and he finds a switch. Oh, that was cool too. So he goes up to the gate. He goes up to the gate and he calls for it, and it just tries to ram the gate down, and it just keeps trying to ram it over and over. And then there was a giant switch, and he finally pulled the switch, and then charges through, and then that hallway led to where the demo started.
Does this game need to look better for you?
So I was really concerned with what we saw last night. Granted, it was on a stream. It looked like PS3. That was the initial reaction. During the presentation, it looked great. It was obviously on a projector on some 90-inch screen with the best sound system that rivals IMAX.
Must be nice.
Yeah, must be nice. But it looked really cool. The lighting was a lot better than you could tell on the stream, and everything looked really good. The scope of it all. You see something, and it just has this size and this weight. Trico himself.
I can believe it. I played Shadow of the Colossus. It was really interesting. We're talking about just games like possibly the next Shenmue can not have like a ton of detail to it because it's based on this game that was released in 2001, or like it could be containing that story. And really questioning, like, do we really need that in a lot of games? Because there was kind of this like vacancy, this emptiness to Shadow of the Colossus in that world, and yet there was so much detail. It really felt like a place where you actually were and could visit. And so like it is a fine line, and it is something I think that team does really well. Same thing with Eco.
But kind of talking about that vacantness, in so many games they try to sell you like, no, our world is huge, it has so many things in it, but it still feels empty. I feel like Shadow of the Colossus and Eco use that feeling of emptiness to enhance their storytelling, and I feel like it has a very profound purpose, and that emptiness, in a way, how you feel about it changes over the course of the game.
Memoir, I can't even put into words from this 15-minute demonstration the amount of feels and emotions that were coursing through my veins. Nothing is happening. You're chilling around with this giant beast, and you're hopping on platforms, and that spoke a million words. It was
I think we're so used to commanding animals. I think that's really the big thing. Like play Ark Survival Evolved in that launch, and it's just kind of like, yeah, you just shove food at this thing, and then eventually it'll become your friend. Or we saw the dog in Fallout, and he's like, here, you just point at this thing, and you click a button, and it just does it because it's a dog. And there's something really enticing about, like, you don't really know what this guy's doing, and it sounds like that's not something they really got into, or maybe some commands you can give him, or cues that you can do that he's going to react to. Food, it seemed like the main impulse. If you find one of these things, chuck them at him. It'll might make him happy, or make him feel better.
It seemed like during the press conference, one of the things that they were emphasizing is a key part of the game is you'll constantly be learning what you can do with this creature. Did you sort of get that sensation that you just sort of had this aha moment? Like, maybe I can go this way?
Yeah, you don't know. Exactly, Brandon nailed it. You don't know what he's going to do because you have no control over him. The boy, obviously, you're in control and has a brain because it's your brain trying to figure things out. And then Trico has the brute force, the muscle, the wingspan, the ability to jump gaps. There was this moment in the demo too when you remember when he jumps and lands on his tail. Ueda missed the tail, fell to his death. The vibe in the room for him, the apologetic vibes. I'm so sorry. But he was playing right there.
He can't make you jump every time.
And then it went back to the checkpoint. It was when he pushes the giant trap over.
You talked about the lack of the control with the beast. What I was kind of curious about, did you ever feel like there were times when the beast, like you were calling, or Ueda was calling for it, and just the beast was like, no, I don't want to do that. Was it ever resistant?
It's never resistant.
Okay.
Not enough space. That's going to be really interesting when that game opens up. The room was very small that it began in. The hallway was very claustrophobic, and then it led into the demo, which is that path as well. So I'm interested to see what happens when things open up.
So I think this is, to wrap up the conversation. Although I could talk about this, I have a lot of questions about Last Guardian. But I mean, you are the final piece of the puzzle, Michael Huber, for the game trailer staff. It was like speculation leading to confirmation, leading to elation. But then we need the confirmation now. Of really knowing, like, okay, this was cool, but is this a game that feels finished? Is this a game I'm actually going to want to play?
They brought it
Because
up.
I think that's like the new thing. It's like, okay, we've gotten past the emotional point of us knowing whether it existed or not. Now we know it exists. Am I really going to play this? Is this something in 2015 that really stands out, that really is going to hold its own on the PlayStation 4?
It ended with him saying, we could not thank you enough for waiting. Thank you a million times for waiting. My core team from Eco and Shadow of the Colossus, my most trusted employees, and the force behind both of those games and myself are working extremely hard to get this into your hands. That's how it ended. That was it.
Well, you are not my most trusted employee, but I really appreciate you checking this.
You're just mad about Darth Maul.
I am mad about Darth Maul.
Force, the double blade,
Yeah.
the like.
I haven't tried the double
spin
blade. I'm
kick.
curious, what that adds to combat and stuff like that.
good. It's
In
good.
between, so we're going to be recording a bunch of Just Plays right now. In between them all, we're going to be talking about Disney Infinity. I'm just prepping everybody. Should we move on? Just rolling down the list. Who am I talking for this one? Who played this one?
What you pointed at 3 things.
That one right there. Who's that? Also, again, Mike Huber. Man, Mike Huber.
You had a
killing it
good
today.
day today, Michael Huber.
Great day. Place to start.
Great
Okay,
day.
okay,
It was a
okay.
really good day.
Composure.
Didn't play a lot though. Not a lot of playable stuff.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah.
Huber, I'm envious of the things that you got to check out today. Uncharted 4: A Thief's
Oh
End.
my God! Right. Being one of them. Brace yourself. I'm not even
Which
joking.
I actually didn't see until a couple hours ago because I missed parts of the Sony
Yeah.
press conference because I was on my way to another event. And so it only was today that I actually finally saw this entire sequence.
My heart is racing right
and
now.
yeah, just
because
so many questions on so many different levels. Impressed. So, I mean, my first question, and I'll just give you time to talk. Was it different? Did you see something different than what we saw at the show?
Again, it was Last Guardian style. This went after. So you remember when the demo ends and he slams into the rail?
Right.
There was another 10 minutes after that. I don't know why they didn't show this because it was the most insane action sequence I have ever seen in a
man.
game. I'm not even joking. This is the
Wow.
most insane action scene ever. So it picks up. He throws a thing. He starts getting dragged in the water. He's dragging on. He's in the water. He's like freaking out. He gets lifted up. There's like this big boat. He goes over the boat. There's people in the boat. They like duck down. The momentum and the rush throughout this entire thing is what I cannot stress enough. It felt like watching this was better than any action movie. It was so intense. So he's going, and then he's getting dragged. So then the water ends, and he starts getting dragged up this mud hill. The mud is covering him. Then he starts shooting. He's hanging on with one hand. People are driving by. He's shooting him. He's trying to climb up the cable.
And you're not playing this. Someone else is playing this for
Neil
you.
Druckmann himself is playing this.
Where did you
You
get
were
all
yeah,
that?
Reference of legend.
What the?
He's playing himself right there in the chair like it's his living room. So he gets up, climbs onto this giant the truck with the giant hook that we saw in the trailer. So
Okay.
he's on top of that. Motorcycles are going by, jeeps are going by. He's ducking down, shooting everyone. The energy is at a fever pitch. This thing starts coming apart because now they're shooting back at Drake. So he jumps off into a Jeep that's right next to him. Indiana Jones moment. He's wrestling with the guy in the car, knocks him out. Now he's driving the Jeep.
Jeez.
All these other motorcycles are coming up. They're jumping on the Jeep with knives. He's kicking people off. He's shooting left and right. Motorcycles are going by. The whole time you're chasing Troy Baker, you're trying to catch up to him. He's in the lead on a motorcycle, also shooting off the villains. Villains led by a man named Rafe. That's
Okay.
all we know about him. So,
Deep breath.
Yeah.
God, it's so intense. So then you finally catch up to him, and he's like, "Hop on," and Drake's like, "No, you hop on, hop on." So you're both like arguing over him getting on in the Jeep or you getting on the motorcycle. Then your Jeep gets hit by the giant APC. That thing rears its ugly head. So then it gets really intimate, Last of Us style. Okay, now we're in the overturned Jeep, and it slowly starts catching fire. It's lighting up. Drake's freaking out. The graphics are ridiculous. So then he slams out the door. He pops out of the door, getting away. The enemies are like, he's still alive, he's still alive. Drake starts shooting them. Troy Baker rolls up on the motorcycle. He says, told you to hop on. Like, really good banter and dialogue the whole time. He hops on. Now it goes classic Uncharted 2 style. running at the camera. So now you're on the back of the motorcycle. It's coming at the camera, and you're shooting at the APC behind you as Troy Baker is just all over the place on this motorcycle. Then you finally kill it. You destroy it. That's it. It's nuts. So then we think it's over. Then they added. There was another like 2-3 minutes.
I thought it was over too.
Yeah. Everyone thought it was
You
over.
fooled me, Hubert.
Everyone started clapping.
Everybody on GameTrailers.com just went to load the next video. They're like, wait, no, what? Wait.
So there was an extra 2 or 3 minutes. Story details. You, your brother, and Sully are talking about following this man named Rafe because we found it, the Pirate Island, which is probably the first E3 demo they were there. We found the Pirate Island. We need to go there before Rafe. And then Drake goes into his hotel room, and who is there but Elena? And Elena turns around and is like, so, how's this Malaysian excavation you're on? You're pretty far off course. And the look in their eyes, Drake and her eyes, it's emotional.
Jeez.
Like, and then it just ends, hard cut. I was, whoa. No, I said whoa out loud. I was like, whoa. And that's what I'm saying. That crazy, crazy action has that whoa, and then also the emotional moments with Sully and Drake and Elena, these characters we've really grown with.
Also, whoa.
Also whoa.
Double whoa.
Double whoa. We got the action and the story. That's what it's all about.
2 out of 3 woes from Ricky. So you saw a lot of stuff at E3 today. You're gonna see more stuff. Yeah, you could do a one-man show of the Uncharted 3 E3 2015 demo. There's no question. But have you played Uncharted 1 through 3?
Yes.
And you're saying like this is, I mean, this action sequence rivals films, so that you hadn't seen anything of this caliber.
I've never seen anything like it. There was so much freedom. The part that the Jeep part in the beginning that was the E3 demo, they took a couple different courses to show you how varied it is. There was a moment when he went right instead of left, which he did last night. He goes right, and there's a huge traffic jam. So he's like, what are we doing? We got to get out of here. So then he backed up and went a different way. So just showing how many different ways and you can go about accomplishing a mission is insane. And they even showed that off briefly in the first demo in the caves. It was like, wow, how big are these caves? This is expansive. It's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing.
So do you get a feeling this is coming from guys that, I mean, obviously the answer is yes to both questions, but I'm just curious what you like, get the raw feeling that, was responsible for this amazing demo that you played today. Is it just the PS4? Is it just that, like, this is stuff that they could have put in Uncharted 1 through 3, but were not capable of with the hardware? Or are these guys that have made these 3 incredible action games and are just like, just the pros at what they do? I mean, and they've just, pooled all of that experience and all that creativity into... I think it's both. You have the tech, you have the evolution, you have the... With more tech comes more possibilities. The doors open up, and you look at the evolution from Uncharted 1 to 2 was the biggest leap. 3 gets criticized because it wasn't as huge of a leap. It was a lot like 2. Also an incredible game. Then to The Last of Us, and then now to this. It's just they keep raising the bar. I was speechless. I was blown away. So, I mean, and not only just the demo you played today, but just Uncharted at E3 2015 across the board, all the stuff that we've seen. Yeah. I think it was a good coming out party? Yeah, I'm really surprised they didn't show this action scene because I think it would have left people way more jazzed and hyped because the Jeep thing was really cool. Everyone was super into it, but there was Shenmue, Last Guardian, there were huge announcements. We had already seen Uncharted. It was like, okay, more Uncharted, cool. Wow, that was incredible. But if they had shown this part too, people would be talking about Uncharted right now. It was ridiculous.
Can I just say, despite them not showing it, you did an outstanding job.
You painted the picture.
Well, not only that, but...
I have not been this excited for Uncharted 4 until right now. Holy cow.
They were like, if you have any questions, cool, but we're just going to let the game speak for itself. I wanted to translate that. The game just speaks for itself.
And I obviously we're gonna get more stuff. You know, like we're gonna get when we see that motorcycle shot in some trailer coming up. Like, oh, that was it. That was that scene that Huber talked about. And maybe we'll never actually see that scene played out, in its entirety until we actually get our hands on this game. But I think there is kind of a secret sauce to that. So like, I'll show you a little bit. I'll show you a little bit else behind closed doors. I'm sure what Blood saw of The Witcher at last year's E3. He's like, why aren't we seeing this? You know, like even they were they kept releasing more trailers. He's like, we still haven't seen some of the crazy stuff that I've seen. But at the same time, like, didn't that give you an itch every time Blood would mention that? Just be like, there's still stuff. I'm telling you. Yeah. You know, that we were still holding out hope, holding out hype, and just day one, man. I mean, are you gonna make it through the week? are your appointments getting progressively more boring as you go through, and you just like kicked it off with these amazing games right off the bat, or is it just?
I mean, it's pretty hard to top Uncharted and Last Guardian.
The hits just keep on coming.
He's got a day tomorrow.
I have another.
Like, he can't take a cameraman with him. I can't send a cameraman with him because he's seeing all this stuff that we can't show. So there
But
you
you
go.
can talk about it
Yeah.
expertly, I might add.
Thanks.
You know, it's about the hype, it's about the heart,
Yeah.
Do you guys
it's
have any
about the
questions?
passion.
Any questions?
No, dude.
I got no
I
questions,
was
man.
just like.
When are we playing it? That's
with
my
that
question. When is this game coming
story.
out? Do we know? Do we have a launch date?
Next year.
Next year. All
Next
right.
year. Yep.
Damn, that's a long time to wait.
Yeah, next
But
year.
hopefully
It
we'll get some
hurts.
more tidbits soon. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for the passionate portrayal of that demo, Huber. I appreciate it.
Get to the end.
Thank you for not being overly distracted by the fact that Hero.
Dude, I was watching it too. I was like, oh.
What is it?
Yes.
They just announced the
Dude,
monk,
Legacy
the
of the
Lich
Void right
King.
here. Legacy of the Void right
Legacy
here.
of the Void. Like,
Wow, Blizzard has actually shown some stuff off at this show.
Legacy of the Void is the culmination.
it truly is.
Impromptu Legacy of the Void just played right now. So we're going all the way to the bottom of the list to GR Dubs. Oh, okay.
Show Skeleton
Oh, this has
King.
been. Oh, I got it right here. Oh, I can see.
Skeleton
I
Kings.
can see who played what.
Skeleton King. Here's the storm.
Yes. Yes.
Dude,
Yes!
he does this move where he like puts a graveyard like around them. They cannot get out, and he just like.
Everyone
Oh
in
my God.
chat was making fun of you because they were like, Ben can't keep his eyes off.
Yeah, I was like,
They were like, not like this,
it's because
Ben.
Ben
not
was like looking
this."
around.
I had to do a double take. I'm like, wait, did they just? Yes. Yes. I couldn't look away. So I'm sorry. I was probably.
I literally just
distracting.
saw. I saw.
this? All right, is Overwatch after this? Because I'm not talking about anything if Overwatch
Yeah,
is
we-
after
we
this.
have-
Should we have Ben on stage?
I'm sorry.
Should we blindfold Ben or just like wait till we get through this sequence and start talking about the next game? And not to like overhype things, but like I want to talk about this next game. I'm actually really curious to
Okay.
see what you guys checked out. Hold on, we'll get to it in a second.
Okay.
So we got Dustin and Chris from Blizzard on stage right now, finally getting to some relevant information from. How much more time do we have from the PC gaming show?
40 minutes. 40 minutes. I think.
So 40 minutes potential. So yeah, they're getting to the good stuff now. They know what they're doing. I saw Cliffy B on there when we were talking about Uncharted earlier. So
show
kind of
Fortnite?
curious. No, well I mean that's Epic, and he's not directly associated with Epic.
Yeah,
He'll hype it up.
every
But yeah,
time. He's so epic.
he's a very epic man.
You know?
They did show.
It's hard to
I
disassociate.
don't know if they showed more, but I saw the just random like environment demo that they'd shown from Project Blue Streak that we'd seen before. It was just like a bunch of weapons on the wall, dojo, trees.
Yay.
Please be excited. Like, all right. So yeah, I don't know if they showed more than that. I'm sure he talked about all sorts of crazy stuff because he's Cliffy. But yeah, who knows when this Blizzard hype train's gonna stop? Are you listening to this at all, Ian? This the PC gaming show? You don't have to. It's fine. Yeah, no. You don't have to put on 2 pairs of headphones. You crazy person.
Let me know.
Yeah, let me
just
know.
curious what they're
Any
talking about
Legacy
right
of
now.
Stop
Void
the
news,
Just Played.
Right my way in any Legacy of the Void.
So yeah, that was Legacy of the Void beta next month.
Yeah. Heroes of the Storm, 2 new heroes. I showed both of them.
But
Yeah.
you have played a little Legacy of the Void already.
Yeah, the beta. Alpha? Beta.
Probably
Beta.
alpha.
Closed beta.
Closed
Apparently,
beta.
the, apparently the
Okay,
beta is
Shake
free to
ups.
everyone,
Was it what?
no matter what.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool.
Shake-ups.
Open beta.
In StarCraft 2. Shaking it up.
It is. Yeah.
Legacy of the Void.
Yep.
Throwing dice in there. Just like we're shaking things up.
I think you summed it up perfectly. You're like, I can't keep up. It's so fast.
It's too intense.
All right, so we'll move on to another Just Play. We'll do our best.
We'll do our best.
If they just start rolling, so they announce like another new IP that's coming, next year or something.
Oh, I'm looking.
We'll do our best. Just keep your eyes forward, your blinders up. Put your horse blinders on, so you can just focus.
Okay.
Because I'm going to need some information here, and I'm sure that Mr. Mike Huber's going to want to hear about this.
He is.
Oh, God.
right.
Here we go.
We are watching the Ubisoft press conference, and Ubisoft likes to bring the secrets. You always wonder. I mean, this is gonna be like a new tradition now. I guess the Ubisoft press conferences, 3rd year running. That just like, okay, that last announcement. What are you gonna show? Didn't get that from Nintendo today. That last announcement wasn't even an announcement. They're just thing that they showed. But Ubisoft decides not to announce a new IP, but to bring an IP, seemingly back from the dead, an IP that we haven't heard much about, an IP that's gone all over the place and had lots of different games and really seems to be reaching to the periphery of where we have experienced Ghost Recon before. Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Okay.
You checked out today, Ben. Did you play this game? Did someone
Nope,
play it for you?
This was basically a theater presentation.
Okay.
So keep that in mind. The one key thing to start off this conversation is Ghost Recon Wildlands is all about co-op. And it is about each of you and your comrades fulfilling specific roles and however you want to kind of culminate in a final objective, if that makes sense. And in the demo they showed us, there were 2 guys by themselves, and then the other 2 were kind of buddied up, and they wanted to find this guy. They wanted to kidnap this guy and take him. He was a bad guy. They wanted to get him. And the way that they did this is the different groups went to different locations to accomplish different things, to gather intel. And I think that is a really cool idea, because when you think about co-op, right, you're always all accomplishing the same thing at once. I love the idea of being like, look, we have this very vague objective. Huber, go all the way to the other side of the continent to figure it out, and then let's meet up here.
Love that.
Because that creates really cool moments. And the demo is very scripted, so you didn't get to see a lot of this, but they kind of hinted at it, right? So let's say I send Huber to the other side of the continent to gather information, and then he gets on voice chat and he says, Ben, it went bad. It went bad. You need to get in the chopper, and you need to fly over here with Brad on the gun, and we need to figure this out.
Probably would happen. I'd be down. I'd be bleeding out.
And so the process they kind of went through, they showed different vehicles. They kind of showed this Jeep. They showed a dirt bike, basically. And you could kind of acquire these things on the fly. And that was really exciting. There was a lot of flexibility to missions. You had an objective marker where you could just kind of go and you're like, okay, I know the guy is here, but I don't know exactly where he is or what the situation is. Is it heavily guarded? What kind of weapons are they using? And so they said, if we go to this gas station where this sort of snitch is getting beat up,
Snitch, yeah.
you can go and you can interrogate him. You can kind of kill everybody in the area, go and interrogate the guy, and you interrogate him, and he says, look, that place is heavily guarded. This is the situation. This is the information you need. And so now you have that intel to be able to complete the objective maybe a little bit easier. And it seems like that's one of the big things they're focusing
But
on.
it was all pertaining to the mission you were on.
It was all pertaining to the mission you were on.
So all of these things are going to change. Is there did you get the sense that there's like a free roaming mode? I'm assuming you're not always on a mission.
So
So
they
can you just
didn't.
kind of tool around this
They
world
didn't
and have fun?
show any of that. It was the entire demo we saw. It was in the context of this one mission. But I will say, they said it, and you hear this a lot at presentations, but from what we saw, it was actually very convincing. They said this is the biggest open world we've made for a Ubisoft action game. And when you were in the helicopter, it was gigantic. Like, it just
Jones's
stretched on
ears
forever.
were
Yeah.
I'm down. Yeah.
You had
when I
these-
saw it, I was down. When they
Yeah.
said, this is a crazy open world action game, the guys are parachuting in, I was like, go on.
Yeah, and I think what surprised me the most is the problem that I have with open world games, especially like taking Ghost Recon into an open world, is that you wouldn't have sort of the tactical decision making that the franchise is known for. But the way that they approached every objective, they scoped out the situation, they marked enemies, they used every tool they had to complete a little bit more thoroughly. It wasn't just go in there guns blazing, okay, we've cleared this waypoint, let's get in a Jeep and go over here. There was a methodicalness to it that I didn't get from the reveal trailer that I was happy to see in the demo.
But you can still do that. You can go in guns blazing if
Yeah,
you
you
got the, if
can.
you got the
Yeah,
right
you
guns
can.
and you're good
Sure.
at the game.
You can, but the way that it seemed in the implication that they gave is, you could very easily fail the mission that way.
So you mentioned you beat up the guy, you got intel, he gave you information on how to get in there. Did you then apply that, or was that the end of the demo? Did you then go in and kick ass and finish the mission?
So
or?
it seemed like it was applied automatically,
Okay.
that it wasn't you had it necessarily. It's just when you got to the area where you were trying to extract the bad guy, all of the enemies were marked for you.
Okay.
And so it was like, okay, this is a nice bonus because I did this other thing.
One of my number one wants, I don't know how they've never done this with a game. Maybe they have, I don't know, but ever since Gears of War 1 and Resident Evil 5, I've always wanted voice chat to go dark sometimes. You know, when you split off or you're in different locations, like cut the voice chat, just cut it. And then you know your co-op buddy's out there, but you're isolated alone. And I'm just surprised developers haven't experimented with that. I think that'd be really
Well, it'd be cool if they
Ghost
could-
Recon.
yeah.
I agree.
If they could hear you, you know, if you actually like talk through voice chat, you're gonna make noise in the game world, so you can't be like like in cover and shadow right next to a guy.
Yeah,
Just be
even
like, what are we doing?
That's
you know?
a good idea too.
This would be cool if like it literally register your level, so you're just like Huber, hello, and you're like, I can't talk.
I couldn't play this.
know?
I couldn't play this game.
Yeah.
I'm too loud.
But speaking of Ghost Recon, that's one of my favorite memories actually of any Ghost Recon game was playing Advanced Warfare Fighter and playing almost said Advanced Warfare, but I corrected myself. Where you would go into these modes and it was one shot kill, but if you lost somebody, they're out, and you didn't, so it was not like Rainbow Six Siege where it's just like 4v5 now. Like I would literally, just be like, okay, Brent, you there? Okay, Brent's gone. Didn't know. Like he didn't shout before he died. He just got sniped by somebody. So that would be fun. I wonder if they're bringing that stuff back.
That was something I noticed. It did seem like you could take, and maybe they just had some mode triggered for the demo specifically, but it seemed like you could take quite a few hits.
Okay.
Which
Whoa.
I'm
Were there
not,
respawns? Did you see somebody
No, I
respawn?
didn't see any respawn.
I bet that's just demo purposes.
It could just be demo purposes.
Sure.
The other concern that I have, right, is it's very easy to make a demo seem like the mission is super focused and kind of has that very tactical feeling. I wonder if each mission will feel like that, or if it's just the core missions. How meaningful is this world outside of the critical path? They didn't even hint at any of that stuff.
That's always been the biggest problem with me for a lot of the Assassin's Creeds lately, and Far Cry 4, was that all the side stuff felt inconsequential and didn't have nearly as big of an impact as the core stuff. Recently, Witcher 3, all the side stuff has so much meaning and so much impact, changing games. Like, hopefully Ghost Recon can have, completely side objectives where you have to kidnap, some drug smuggler, and that feeds into the main missions. Like, have them kind of correspond to that.
And it comes down to, and you've said this to me, I think, a dozen times, the writing. The writing in The Witcher 3, they put the same effort in to the side quests as they do the main quest. They make you care.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important.
So to wrap things up, there's different kinds of E3s. We have these press conferences and we
Right.
get to see these games announced for the first time, and then we get to go behind closed doors and we see this other slice of it. What are big things that you want to communicate to somebody who is like, hey, I saw that Wildlands thing, it looked kind of cool, but you're like, no, I saw it behind closed doors, and this was portrayed in this demo, and I didn't really get that sense. You kind of touched on it a little bit before from that trailer that you saw before. If someone wasn't hyped, is there something you could tell them that, like, just wait until you actually get to play it and check it out?
It depends on what kind of person I'm talking to. There are people that I think just like open world games, and then I think there are diehard Ghost Recon people. And I think this game is trying to be a little bit of everything, and I think you can see that in a lot of Ubisoft games. But I think it's doing it well. I think the thing that got me excited is there's more Ghost Recon in there than I thought there would be, and hopefully that can carry through to the final thing.
Exactly how much Ghost Recon there is. That's the question. Like, how many missions we have. You mentioned the world is really big, but like, how much is there to do? When you get to a location, is it the only time you're going to be doing something in that building, or it's just like, okay, there's that mission for that building, moving on. But yeah, definitely curious to check this game out. Was this surprising to you when this was announced that like Ghost Recon was going in this direction?
Yeah, I think I got on the stage and was very cynical about it. Yeah. But I think the final thing I want to say is I can't imagine playing this game non-cooperatively. Like, I don't think I would have any interest if I couldn't play it co-op.
Did they say that was an option that you could do if you want? Or?
Yes, I believe you can play through it entirely alone if you want to, but just at least in the demo, the way the mission was structured, you're not getting the same game if you're playing it by yourself. You need that communication.
Yeah.
You need to have sort of those
How big was
asynchronous moments.
the squad? 4?
It was 4 people.
Cool. All right. We have
Hey,
a crew. We
hey,
have a crew.
full
Hey,
group.
baby. Let's
Full
do
group.
it.
We're in, man.
Yep. Team
Mission
GT.
accomplished.
Team
Thanks, Ben.
GT.
And scene.
And
So there we go. That's how JP's work, everybody. First time we've done JP's live. That's
There it
fun.
is.
Yeah.
There it is.
Are we supposed to have some other people here?
Then we all just like pretend we like each other like during
Just
it.
wait
And then
till
we're
they show
done.
up.
Okay.
Oh, you guys suck.
What the what now?
Am I supposed to have some other people show up?
Yes. Guild Wars 2 is scheduled to come by. I don't know if they are contacting John. And
Okay.
you know, there is after hours. There's traffic in Los Angeles. You never know. People are wrapping stuff up after the show. They have John's contact information. They are scheduled to stop by. But fingers crossed. We've had some things happen this week that were supposed to happen that didn't end up happening. But we're here, damn it. So are we ready to?
Let's head back to the top.
We're heading all the way back to the top. All right.
You're looking at Ben Moore. Me? Ben. Me? You're looking at me.
Locked in.
I think I know what it is.
So I'm very jealous that you've got to check out a lot of cool games today that I haven't
you're
checked out.
Real Joe. I know exactly what you're about to bring up.
But I played this game,
Oh, okay.
Black Ops 3.
Oh, Black Ops 3.
And-
Curveball.
You never know. Black Ops 3.
That'd be cool.
And this is a game that I actually haven't yet to see the single player demo that they showed at the stage.
Here's my footage. You can see me get wrecked.
But it seems like multiplayer.
Oh, I'm excited for this.
yes, this is
Multiplayer, I'm very excited about. So this is you playing multiplayer and getting your
Yes.
ass handed to you? Great.
Okay.
So I really dug multiplayer, but it sounds like single player people are not really digging, and it's interesting that there's this kind of like two sides to this
Yeah.
game. That's like maybe the 4-person co-op is not necessarily where a lot of people want this direction to go. But after playing a lot of Advanced Warfare and now going into Black Ops 3, there are so many things. I mean, the awesome replay videos that they are showing in gameplay cuts for this game are unbelievable.
It's
mind-boggling.
unbelievable. It is.
There's one particularly on this map actually that we're looking at right now where a guy
Dead.
goes running into the
Constant
cave,
death.
kills a guy with one weapon, machine gun guns another guy with another weapon, goes running to jump on the wall outside of the waterfall and gets almost shot with the guy who sneaks up behind him, but then uses like a blink ability, which is like kind of from Overwatch,
Yes.
where you can just like zip, like rewind like 3 seconds, and then like right when he gets shot, rewinds behind the guy and headshots him
Yeah.
with like a pistol.
When I was done,
that's
I
nuts.
immediately texted Ben and I said, Black Ops 3 is Overwatch. Because that is the vibe I took away from this game. There are 9 specialists classes. So a class now is a specialist. And they all have a persona. They all have a backstory. They all have a lore. You care about these characters
Whoa.
already.
What did you say?
And I believe we checked out 4 at the
Persona?
event. Right. And I checked out 4. So how many of these characters
We
were
saw
available?
6.
6. Okay, so I saw the guy with the spikes.
Guy with the spikes who's straight up Titanfall Titan.
Yeah, just boom. Yeah.
Yes.
Or Destiny, you mean?
Destiny, yeah.
Correct.
Destiny,
He's
sorry.
got like the ground pound.
Both
so
of
just
those
classic.
games
Feel
are in
like
this game.
King of the Hill, brutal. You know,
Yeah.
any mode where it's just like, oh, let's all hover here and protect ourselves. You just come flying in over a building and funk.
Yeah.
And you were mentioning before a lot of the not to talk for you, Huber, but I'm just curious if like all this stuff still lines up. They have a specific weapon that you can pick, or they have an ability, but you can only pick one.
Mm-hmm.
When you're picking your loadout going into a match, like I want to pick that character, and then I want to pick his skill or her skill or
Mm-hmm.
their weapon. You have the archer, who's got like the big bow that you can wind up. It does more damage the
That-
longer you pull it. But of course, like a bow in Call of Duty is a little brutal because it's like a very
Brandon
very
Jones.
fast-paced game.
That bow
When it hits,
was love at first sight.
That's what I want to use the most.
I fell in love with this thing. I felt like Turok out there on the battlefield.
Turok.
The sound when this thing shoots and lands, it's got this Minority Report like shockwave sound gun vibe. Nails into him and then explodes. Their whole body explodes into bits and it kills people within range. It's just incredible. It's so
you hit,
satisfying.
When you hit,
you
know, and
Tough
it's
to
just tough
hit.
because you're cashing your chips on this one giant move. So it's really good if you know like these guys are coming from this one specific direction. I'm not going to get flanked.
Yeah.
Good character to have. I'm trying to remember the 4th character. The 3rd character is one I couldn't stop playing as, which was the robot who has this like
Yes.
huge Gatling gun. It's just fun to own, especially when people are jumping and it's just like you're not hitting the ground. Okay, you're dead. And then so they got the bow. She was the stealth lady. Her skills were like to scan, so she could like sense the environment.
Yep.
The crazy guy with the ground spikes, the robot. What are the other 3?
There was... I have the names right here. Oh, my phone's not here. I forget his name. I think it was like Recon or something. He has a trap gun that was really good for the control point maps because when you got it, you put those on the control points and it was like mines. People would walk over them, except it was like nano machine bees that just swarm all over the guy. That was really satisfying. And then there was Prophet, who has like a Killzone style electric shock gun that it's like chain lightning, so it chains to people.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Do you know why Treyarch has become my favorite Call of Duty studio?
just going for it.
They're not afraid to get weird.
Yeah, it's
they don't
so
treat.
cool.
They don't take themselves too seriously,
Yeah.
and I think that's so important for a game.
For
like
me to
this.
go into this event after Last Guardian,
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII, and Shenmue were announced, I'm saying, okay, I'm playing another Call of Duty. Obviously not going in cynical at all. It's like, cool, get to play Call of Duty, but it's like,
You just had your dreams come true.
yeah,
right?
I'm like, oh, that it's just going to be another Call of Duty. It blew me away. Then there was the other character. It was, I forget her name, but she was like an Asian assassin. You plays
And she's
her.
got the blink, I think. Like she's got the one that you can.
Yeah,
go
the
back.
blink and this one-shot magnum revolver,
Whoa.
like John Marston style.
Yeah. Which again, Destiny inspired possibly. The hunter's
Yeah.
got his pistol.
Yeah.
But the difference I think is that in Destiny you charge it up once and then you have as many shots as you can before it runs out. You just have 3, right? Just have
You
3
have-
shots in Destiny.
It's
the
ticking
pistol?
down time.
Yeah, usually you have
or-
3 shots.
Yeah, 3 shots or the time limit.
But it's really focuses on the time limit. So like
Yeah.
a lot of those abilities, there's different costs, and like the one with her was that it was like a clock. So like if you trigger that at the right moment, you can take out a ton of different people with this
Yeah.
gun. Whereas like Destiny felt a little more limited. But how do you feel about that? How do you feel about a shooter like Destiny? You're like, what about this mode? And Call of Duty's like, thank you. It is the same genre, and they are, it is just like a fundamental skill, that's being added to the genre that they're, being inspired by or maybe potentially taking to the next level. Is that uninspiring when you see something like that happen, or does it just make sense? Like, why wouldn't you? This is really exciting to have classes in this game and having the skills and new abilities and weapons.
I mean, we're getting a new Call of Duty game every single year, right?
Yeah.
So I think the worst thing they could do is stick to their guns, right? I think it's encouraging, and it fills me with hope that they're looking to other games. They're looking to other sources of inspiration. They're seeing what works and trying to put it into their game.
There was a point when Assassin's Creed was one of my favorite franchises, and Call of Duty and Assassin's Creed are in the same camp. They're doing the same thing. You get one every single year. It feels like it's less than a year because by the time you're done playing it and the next one comes out, it's like 9-10 months. Yet each Call of Duty, like Advanced Warfare was fantastic, and now Black Ops 3 is... It feels fresh somehow. Assassin's Creed, I try to get excited for. Call of Duty, they just keep surprising me.
So his name is escaping me right now, but the guy who came out on stage during the PlayStation conference to introduce the multiplayer, that guy's hilarious.
He is.
That guy, when I went to the
Yeah.
demo event before, was just like, he would not, like,
Yeah.
he was just so brutally honest.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is one of the best things we really appreciate about E3. We just had the Divinity Original Sin guys on stage, and like they were pretty upfront about like, designing their game and the pluses and minuses.
The Treyarch guy reminds me of Huber in a lot of ways. Like when he's on stage, you can tell he's legitimately excited to talk about how a shotgun kills people. I like
shotgun.
those.
Yeah, shotgun.
I like those kind of people.
Huber likes to describe these things, but I mean, incredibly unapologetic about what they did, because you can get a set. Like on one hand, I'm like, whoa, this guy is not budging on the creative decisions he's made going into this game. But at the same time, I definitely get the vibe like you care so much about balance. You care, like, this seems so important to you to not only you're representing the Call of Duty franchise, but you're representing your studio, and Call of Duty multiplayer isn't something to take for granted. It's and it's really interesting with the to completely divert back to what we were talking about before, but like with the different classes and the different abilities work really well. Like we're talking about King of the Hill works really well for those
Yes,
ground spikes.
exactly.
You want to get people collected.
Yeah.
Whereas there were lots of like cool sprinting abilities that you can use for. We're watching Kill Confirmed right now.
Yeah.
And it's really great to have that little extra boost or one ability that you can just like zap in there, grab it, and get out.
That's what I want to talk about, is how much is going on. I feel like so many Call of Duties recently were, you have the quickest hands, let's go, shoot, see him, shoot him, kill him, done. This has a momentum meter, first of all, which was the biggest thing. So you have your power gauge, which depletes when you double jump and power slide. So you can chain so many moves together. You can run on the wall, power slide, double jump. You can run on the wall and then double jump back and run the other way. You can cue your slide while you're in the air, so you have that queued up already.
This almost sounds like a fighting game to me, where you're like you're
It felt
buffering
like
animations,
that.
where you're
It's-
kind of
yeah.
chaining together combos.
Yeah, so you're chaining all that. You have your kill streaks, which is standard, which has always been there. There's a ton of those. And now you have your Destiny-style super meter, which you can save and bank and keep until you want to use it, or just burn it immediately.
And it has that risk-reward system where,
Yes.
like, you don't want to wait until threat comes at you and then you trigger it because it might be too late. But you don't want to trigger it when there's nobody around because, you know, you'd be on the completely other side of, like, where the action's at, and then you just wasted that ability. Yeah, it was, like I mentioned, I dug the robot. I like to play with that. You mentioned the bow guy, and that seems like somebody, you know, a character you want to get your hands on, Ben, when you eventually play the game. And it sounds like there's 3 more. So we got 9
more,
total
there's gonna
characters.
be
There's
9
3
total.
more. So we've
And
seen
then
6 now. 3 more characters that they haven't
The
introduced.
the weapon customization was big. It's pretty much
Oh, yeah.
unlimited. It's make your dream gun, like paint wise.
Well,
you can do anything. There's
I'm a big fan of aesthetics
layers.
over anything, and I dug that every single part in the game, has 2 versions purely aesthetic. So you're like, I'm adding this, you know, suppressor onto my thing, and it's like, you want the fat suppressor, or you want the little tiny one, you know? And you're like, oh, I kind of like that. Yeah, make it pink, sure. I'm like,
Some of them too, though. It was like different kinds of grips. One grip would be you aim down the sights faster. Another one was less recoil when aiming down the sights. So there's just so much customization. You're leveling up your main profile, your weapons, and your classes. There's just a ton of stuff, and it felt somehow it felt fresh.
The question that I have for me is, I feel like I really love the customization, and I always love that. I feel like Treyarch especially has kind of like made you put your own identity into your like having the profile pictures, and now with the way you can make your gun look however you want. But to me, did you feel like all of the options were a bit overwhelming, and because there was so much, it kind of made all of it less meaningful? Like to me, I feel like Call of Duty got to a point where there was so much stuff that I was getting at the end of every single match that I just didn't care about anymore. I didn't feel like I was working up to anything.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and I don't want to bring up start a war here, but the reason I always have preferred Battlefield over Call of Duty is because you have defined roles and every weapon is viable. So many times Call of Duty SMG, just run in, the fastest gun wins, the faster fire rate, the faster draw. There's no suppression, so big, heavy machine guns are almost pointless.
SMGs make that game not fun.
Yeah. You know, I would like for if Call of Duty gets to a point where every single weapon is viable, sniping, shotguns, assault rifles, heavy machine guns, it would be in a better place. This seems like it's on the right track because of your
the skills.
Class skill weapons.
So you got the guy
but-
with, you know, the faster weapon, but if you're not good at using your class, then
Yeah.
I'm going to sneak up behind you, or I'm going to bring out my gigantic Gatling gun that just completely owns, or like
think it's so
you're going to
cool.
turn a corner and get an arrow to the face, and now all
Yeah.
your friends around you are going to blow up. Yeah, we still haven't played single player. I didn't get to play single player at the event that I went to. That was just multiplayer. I saw it played, you know, much like we saw a demo of it today.
Yeah.
So you saw how it's swapping between the 4 different characters. But it sounds like really like what we need to see about Call of Duty is how, you know, what are the other single player missions look like?
Yeah.
How does progression happen in the game? How do I unlock new stuff?
Yeah.
You know, how do I customize my character? Did it have any of that? Because I know we could, like, if we
Didn't
all
show
pick the
any.
robot, all the robots look the same.
Yeah,
in the multiplayer match.
I'm
But they
assuming
they
they're
mentioned
gonna-
there's going to be customization.
My biggest question is for you, Brad and Ben and Jones. For me, I'm saying, wow, this is great. Am I going to buy it? And if I do, am I going to play it longer than a few weeks? Like, no matter how good this game is, are you still going to buy it even though we have a Call of Duty every single year?
There was this weird thing that happened, right? Where Advanced Warfare came out, and it was well received.
Yeah.
It reviewed well. I think it was well received by the fans. It was definitely a step above Ghost.
Yes.
And I felt like it had no longevity at all.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of had its week in the sun, maybe even a month, maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But I feel like the community for Advanced Warfare isn't there. Have we truly reached the point of saturation? Like, regardless, as you said, of how good it is?
Yeah, Brad, if this game is incredible, would you buy it? Because Brad goes all the way back, Call of Duty 1, but is checked out as of Modern Warfare 3 probably.
No, before
or-
that.
Yeah, even before then,
Yeah.
like it
2
was
hours
already
out.
enough. Yeah, it was already enough for you.
I was
then.
done. Yeah.
Now we're getting them every year. If this game is like 9 point something,
No. No, I won't play it.
But
Well,
it's-
I played the single player. I played the campaign if I did play it, but multiplayer.
But that's the
don't
interesting
care.
thing. You know, like they started with Kevin Spacey first and foremost going into Advanced Warfare. So we knew this story, whereas like we're kind of seeing these characters like, who is this guy? I don't really know. We're hearing voiceover in the trailers, like who's talking? Like we don't really have a lot of context to set up, you know, why we'd be really into the story and why this single player could possibly one up other campaigns in the past. Sounds like multiplayer is the real driving force going into Black Ops 3. Maybe they know it. Maybe that's why it had a better showing at E3. And maybe that's really why you played it and not the single player.
hey,
Yeah, maybe.
Team GT 4-player co-op. Here we go again.
Yeah, no kidding.
You guys
and
ready?
and when you know some of us might get our hands on other Black Ops 3 stuff throughout the week, so maybe we'll get a chance to actually play that single player and compare them. But I'm stoked that somebody else got to play Black Ops 3, and I'm stoked that you liked it because I liked it too. So
Super fun.
looking forward on killing you like these guys are behind
I
you,
know.
Huber.
Jeez. Massacre.
Well
yeah,
done.
wrecked.
Hey, there's that pistol. There's that pistol. Do I use it? I probably die immediately. Oh, I think I get some kills here.
Waiting for
Yeah,
it.
there it is.
Nice.
There it is.
Wait,
John Marston style with
we're going
this
until he
thing.
dies. When's he gonna
Oh,
die?
there's
Wait,
another
oh,
one.
oh.
Hey, got two.
Rough.
A for
Not
effort,
bad.
Huber. A for effort. That was a good ending. I like. Yeah, we can stretch that out. That was great. So cool. Do we want to? What? We got other Ben stuff, or we talked about that?
Ben Moore.
Ben Moore.
Give me some of that, Ben.
Give me some of that Ben Moore hype.
Yeah, give me some of that, Ben.
There is one game that the hype will come out on, and I think it's pretty obvious what it is on that list.
Yeah. Well, I hope so. Hey, you want to do it? You ready? You're ready. Oh yeah, it's live. We're live right now. I'm super casual there for a second.
Yeah, ready?
So you three, you guys. Oh wait. All right. Composure. What? Did I bring my water back up? Did I
Kyle
leave it down
came
there? I think I
in,
left my water down there.
Looked at
really
us
confused
and left immediately.
That was bizarre.
Hard out.
I think that's pretty normal.
Wow, look at
Hard
this
out.
movement.
Hard
How
cut.
cool. Did you see that? Did anyone see that kill? It was really cool. I'm not even gloating like myself.
Do you guys
Like-
If anyone
How else
else
am I
did that, I
able
would be like the wall run into a kill.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a
This
John
looks
Woo
fun.
movie.
Well done, Huber.
No. I'm terrible. Battlefield, though. Getting those objectives, capturing those
Yeah.
flags, capturing those
Battlefield.
points,
I'm just tossing
arming those
out med
M-con,
packs.
yeah, tossing
Yeah.
those packs.
Ammo
Reviving
packs.
Huber.
go.
Getting
Yeah.
the defibrillator.
Welcome to my life,
I'm
Ben.
throwing the ammo down.
JP time, baby.
JP time.
So you never really know what's just going to explode with Huber. You know, Huber's going to be excited about things.
Yeah.
But you know, like some game looks good, and you know something like Ghost Recon. You weren't really into that when they first attached that name onto. We were like, what?
Yeah.
And excited, I believe, would pale in comparison to the reaction Huber got for seeing For Honor for the first time.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and so this
Tell
is you know
me
this
everything.
this is one of those games that we have lots of questions for. I think the first question being
This is not the game I expected you to pick.
Yes.
what of the
Good
stuff
job.
of the stuff that we
Throw
saw
those curveballs.
on stage. What else? What did you get to play that? Or was it
So I
something
did.
different?
I played so much of For Honor, and out of the things I played, without a doubt, it was the most impressive one. Out of the things that I played.
Yes.
Out of the things that you
Victory.
played, everything you played today.
So I saw a bunch. I'm distinguishing between what I saw
Sure,
and what
sure.
I played. It is everything you and I have talked about wanting that game to be. That's exactly
Was it
what it is.
intimate?
It was. It was intimate, but it was more than that. So For Honor is this game where you have this team of we played as knights. You can also play as samurai and other characters. But everyone that I was playing with was a knight with a longsword, basically. And they ran us through this brief tutorial. And at first, I was like very flummoxed. I'm like, oh no, this feels bizarre, because how it works is you use the right analog stick to kind of get the position that you want to be in, right? So if you want to attack to the left, you put the right analog stick to the left, and then you either hit light attack or heavy attack. If you want to attack from above, you put the left analog stick or the right analog stick up, and you attack from above. But that's also how you block. So if somebody is attacking you from the left, you have to have the left analog stick to the left in order to block them. And as you get better at the game, you can read based on what you see. So if somebody's coming at you and their sword is like this, you know they're very likely going to attack at you from the top. And what I fell in love with For Honor is that I learned very organically. There weren't like tooltips in front of my face. It was I went in, got massacred, saw how I was attacked, learned, went right back to that jerk that killed me, and I said, "You and I, let's fight, let's dance on this battlefield." And I took him down, and it was
That sounds awesome.
one of the most satisfying multiplayer kills I've ever had. Was that
But
moment?
I have a question. So
Yeah.
you died, and then you said you went back. So did
Yeah.
you start a new match, or are there respawns?
No, there are respawns,
Okay.
but there's a condition on that. So it is a control point style mode is what we played, and so there are these 3 points, and you try to be the first team to get to 1,000 tickets essentially, and as you have dominance over a point, you gain tickets for as long as you have control. And once you reach 1,000, though, the other team can't respawn, so you have to kill all of them, or they can break you, and they break you by taking over one of your control points.
This is awesome.
It is awesome.
This is awesome.
I had an interview immediately after For Honor with Jason, the guy with the cane.
Yo!
He was the most excited human being. He was incredible, and he told me the story of how For Honor came to
guy
be.
is
And I'm not
hype.
kidding. Okay, this guy is the most intimidating person I've ever interviewed. I sit down on the couch. He's got the cane there with him. It's got this like silver top. He's got all these rings on. He's got this like huge mane of hair. And he says, "Hello, warrior." I'm like, okay. All right.
So into it.
And,
I mean, that guy, this is like the best week of that guy's life.
Yeah.
He's got to sit on the secret for so long.
Yeah, and that's what he came across. And he said the first thing he said was, I said, "How did For Honor come to be?" And he said, "Well, I was doing mixed martial arts in Southern Los Angeles." I'm not kidding. I'm not making any of this up. And I was walking home from my mixed martial arts class, and I was thinking about, how it felt. I wanted to capture the emotions of the battlefield. And he's like, "Well, maybe I can use the right stick for that." And he said, so I started prototyping things. And he told me, and I was shocked, he's been pitching this game for more than a decade. And he went around to everyone and shot down. He said, they told us, we don't make this kind of game. And then he finally had success.
What do you attack with? What's your attack button?
So your attack button, you have 2 different attacks. So if you hit the bumper, that's a light attack.
Okay.
If you hit the right trigger, that is your...
The right bumper.
The right bumper is your light attack. The right trigger is your heavy
So
attack.
everything's on the right. So I'm
But
doing all this with my.
you can't just
Right.
hit those buttons to attack. You have to point in a direction.
Right.
And you can't do it very quickly either. You have to kind of fake people out, right? You have to say like, okay, I'm going to trick him into think I'm going to be attacking from the left, and then I switch to the right and do a light attack. And then once I get the light attack in, I'm going to do a heavy attack from the top to finish him off.
It looks like you
Oh,
got
it's so
ranged
good.
attacks as well. So we got like airstrikes or something.
Yes.
You can like pick a location.
So
and...
it's kind of a kill streak style thing. So as you gain points from your team, whether it's by killing the enemy or capturing points, there are also sort of these MOBA style minions that are on the battlefield that you need to clear out in order to capture a point.
Okay.
You can kill them instantly, but he said they're kind of for people that maybe aren't as good at the game that want to contribute. They can kind of go in and clear these things. Once you get enough points, you unlock different tiers of sort of essentially kill streaks. That's not what they're called in the game, but for the sake of simplicity, that's what I'm going to call them. The first one is you rally your troops, right? And so you have these AI buddies that you can see getting slaughtered on the battlefield, and you go up to them and you hit your kill streak and you rally them, and they're like, "Yeah, let's go!" And they rush on to the next point.
Do you give an epic speech?
No, it's a roar. It's just a
Okay.
roar.
It's a 5-minute speech. It's a little, we're not sure if it works.
Ride
We're
out.
being too
See,
repetitive. Yeah.
The next tier of the kill streak, you can heal yourself.
Okay.
And you get actually multiple charges of that. Oh man, there's something I want to talk about immediately after this. The final one that you get is you can signal, you can target a point on the map, and you can call down a flaming boulder from a catapult. That's pretty cool. The one thing that I wanted to talk about, and this is where I sort of said, is this what you meant when you said capturing emotions on the battlefield? He says, yes, you get it, exactly. So once you kind of get locked in combat with somebody, right, you're in it. It's not easy to escape. And they sort of hammer this home. Once you get low on health, once you get to like your final life bar, your bar flashes red, and this happened to me. This was one of my like first encounters. My bar was flashing red. I said, "No, I need to escape. There's no way I'm going to win this fight." And because my health was so low, I couldn't sprint. I couldn't even run at a normal pace. I could only limp away. And so my character is trying to like limp away, get away from this battlefield, and the enemy knight just comes and runs his sword through me. And it was, it sucks to have that happen to you, but again, it created that moment where I felt scared and helpless, and the other guy felt triumphant. Because he killed me with a heavy attack, he got to do an execution and lop off my head.
Ben.
Yeah.
You're saying how when your health was low, you're having trouble moving. Did it feel like Bushido Blade kind of? Remember on PS1 you get hit and you get weaker in that sense.
Yeah, I think Bushido Blade is a very, very good comparison. I also think Jedi Outcast were sort of those one-on-one Jedi duels. It also felt very much like that. But the thing is it's not just these one-on-one duels. It's a team game, right? And so the way that my team eventually rallied to victory is we wouldn't just take guys one-on-one. We would go and we say, hey, there's one guy at B. You and me, let's go and let's get him. And it's so much easier to kill somebody if you're
2-on-1. If you're the one, can you take 2 out? Or
you can.
My next question.
Yeah. You can't. And that's sort of the thing, right? That's the emotions that he keeps coming back to you. Is you can do it. The defense system works in such a way where if you're a god at it, if you've really practiced, you can parry all of the attacks that are coming at you. And you can guard break, and you can get in, and you can definitely defeat 2-on-1 if you're good enough.
This all sounds like chivalry a lot to me, which I really like. Would you say this is like a better version of that?
I don't think it's necessarily better. It feels a little bit different by the nature of it being third person. But what I was most surprised at is I think For Honor is a very complex game that is super easy to understand. You do that 5-minute tutorial and you have a very solid grasp. Like they did an excellent job of mapping all of these actions onto one stick.
Ian Hink brought up a good point yesterday, actually. He said there's a lot of HUD. I noticed even when you're holding R to the different side, does that really even need to be there? Don't you know visually like which side your blade is facing? Do you think the HUD was obtrusive at all?
I think that's actually a very good criticism. I don't think the Ian Hink, I think that's a very good criticism. I don't think the right stick thing needs to be there, but my guess is that it is just there for the demo. I mean, these are people playing the game for the very first time. It's just a little bit of extra information.
Maybe there's a hardcore mode, no HUD at all.
Because
it shows their health too. That's really important if you know how much health someone has.
I actually like that information. I think it's important. If this was just one-on-one battles, maybe you could get away with it not being there. But because it's team-based, I think it's important for the health to be there. Hopefully, you can either remove the right stick thing in the final game, or it's just not there at all.
And I just had one last question. You were talking about the creeps.
Yeah, you can call them creeps.
I'm just gonna call them creeps. Is it wise for someone to push a lane by themselves with the creeps if they can die in one hit? Wouldn't it be wise to just be with all of them and kill all the opposing enemy creeps? Are your troops moving forward on the battlefield as you eliminate the other ones?
So your troops will move forward on the battlefield if they don't encounter resistance, right? And so that's what really this mode of For Honor is all about. It's not just sort of like picking a decision and going with it. The only time I had success is when I looked at the map as a whole and we addressed what areas needed our help.
So there's multiple armies fighting in different areas.
You're not really kind of going through this area. It's all open to you at once, and you need to figure out where you need to be.
Awesome,
dude. This is it. This is our game. This is
awesome
our game.
For this.
We say ride out in Heroes of the Storm. Yeah. It will have so much more meaning.
It looks so hardcore.
And you know what? I have to say, it ran almost flawlessly. It looked
pre-alpha.
When
are we
it looked fantastic. It ran super smooth.
How much longer?
Super impressive. Yeah.
I don't think there's a damn thing this man could have said that would have gotten us more excited for this game to confirm pretty much. Yeah,
the emotions of the battlefield.
Yeah, that is the best thing. Any date?
The only thing we know is that they're going to do a beta in August.
Good beta summer, folks.
We'll be there.
Beta in August.
Thanks for checking it out, Ben.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How do
you lock on? I didn't want to wrap up a Just Played with a lock on.
So you hold down. So that's actually kind of weird. And something that they do need to improve. I wish we would have said it during the Just Play, but I didn't think of it till now. Is when you hit the L2 button, I believe it is, you will just sort of lock into whatever character is closest to you. But that's not actually always what you want. Sometimes there are two bad guys, like one guy is a little bit closer to you, but you actually want to target the guy behind. That can be a little bit awkward, and I definitely think needs to see improvement.
We shall see.
We shall see.
We shall see, warrior.
Do we want to keep going? Have we worked from Guild Wars at all?
Yeah, that's done, man. That's rad.
They recorded
Oh, you
it
shot that
separately.
off
yeah.
stage? Oh.
So we'll roll it in sometime.
Well, I knew you were getting some dinner while I was doing Just Plays, but they came in. How was that?
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Cool. So we'll see how much time we have left out today after Just Plays, but that may be something we can check out later on in the show. But similarly to the way we did with Electronic Arts, Guild Wars 2 came in.
It's not gonna be done tonight.
No, that's not gonna be done tonight.
No, Don's. You know.
No, you're not watching that. What are we talking about?
Don can only do so much. He's one man.
Kyle's in charge here.
It's gonna be tomorrow. It's probably gonna be tomorrow.
But that is Guild Wars 2 Guilds, correct? Can you give us
No,
a tease?
man.
What do we see?
Guild
What do we
Wars
see?
always have guilds.
Guild halls.
You made me look like the biggest idiot when I walked in the interview. Because Brandon, you've all week long you said, yeah, they have guilds now. So I walk in and they're like, oh, so you have guilds now? And they're like, yes, we're called Guild Wars. We've always had guilds.
It works. She said.
This is
Guild halls is what they just added.
Right.
Yeah.
This is hysterical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, wow, so you made
I just pronounced it wrong.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Guild Halls.
Yeah. Guild halls.
But that was specifically what they showed off.
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
and you can check that out tomorrow, sometime in the stream. I will not be on the stream tomorrow. I will be going to the show all day. I'll be on the stream tomorrow night, but kicking stuff off, I will probably not be on the stage when we roll that package. Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. And we need to get through all of these, right? What did you do? What did you talk about? What was it Just Played you did before I came on? Just got I was eating dinner.
Before you came on?
Yeah.
Oh, they were talking about some stuff that wasn't on the list because we were still doing the PC game.
So they didn't actually do a Just Play.
We did 0 Just Plays
Right.
before you arrived.
Oh boy. We got some stuff to talk about here, folks. Yeah, we still got 1, 2, 3, 4 more of these to do.
Yeah.
God.
I have to go get a glass of water. I'm dying.
Do
All
it.
right,
Go
start
get
with
some
Huber.
I'll
Sorry.
talk to Huber.
I'm gonna stall for you, Ben.
Thank you.
I'll get it now. I'll step in. I'll step in.
Well, you got 2 of them. What do you want? Both of them? Your other 2? These are your other 2. Look at the one in the middle of the page there. There's the
I
other
know.
2.
I know what's coming.
I know what I saw today, Jones.
I know what's
So you
coming.
want to wait for Huber to come back before we talk about that?
Huber's right here.
I'm going to talk to Ben.
It'll be back in 1
Here's a
minute.
little loopy. You should
One
get a
minute.
water too.
You should have heard me this morning, Huber. I was talking about the Nintendo press conference, and I literally or the Nintendo Direct, and I must have said like 10 times. I was like, what they should do is they should come out on stage, and Kyle's like, there's no stage. It's a Direct.
Yeah. We're
For
a
the
little
10th
loopy
time, there's no stage.
I just found out that Metroid game is from Next Level.
Oh.
Yeah, who knew? I feel really bad for making fun of it so bad.
It's still worth making money.
What's up? It's still worth making fun of?
Yeah, what does that tell you that you know that they're working on that game? Like, what does that change about it?
That's Luigi's Mansion 2. That's like Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. Yeah.
Right. But
And-
even the best developers can phone in a game, just being like, what do you want us to? Okay, we'll make this really quick.
But Luigi's Mansion 2 is not phoned in. That game
It's
is
not.
so good.
But the first time you saw Luigi's Mansion 2,
Ian's blinking at us. That's the worst. What if all of us just did this every time we wanted
Well,
to speak?
If you wore the headphones, you would be able to hear me. when
Okay,
I spoke.
all right. Headphones on. What's up, Ian?
Well, now I derailed the conversation and I feel bad. I just wanted to like cue my question ahead of time because I just get ignored and then you move on to something else. and
Sure.
then-
Sure.
Anyway,
and then
just,
you take your time asking it.
I know.
and
I'm
it's a whole
sorry. I
big
love
procedure.
you. I'm sorry. So wait, I came in halfway through the For Honor thing. Is it a MOBA? You were using lane and stuff.
That ain't a MOBA.
So
That
there
ain't a
is-
MOBA.
There's partial laning. There are lanes that your creeps go through. There are multiple objectives on the battlefield that need to be addressed at any given time.
Okay.
4-on-4 battles. When you die, you respawn.
Okay.
But when you get a certain amount of points, you're not able to respawn
And what
anymore.
system is it on? Xbox,
For Honor, what
PS4?
systems? What systems
So
for Honor?
I'm sorry. We just do this whenever we need to just Google something now.
Oh. Wow.
We couldn't just
I
Google.
believe-
All right. Everyone say goodbye to Bossman's mic.
Jeez. On edge.
I believe I am 90% sure that the platforms are PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
Okay, thanks.
That seems reasonable. Yeah.
No, you don't get a mic. You don't have a mic anymore.
They can still hear me. I can project.
All right.
What are we talking about next?
I'll tell you what we're talking about next.
Yeah.
We're talking about a good game. A game that I'm hoping I get to play sometime later at the show. Kind of curious under what conditions Mr. Michael P. Huber played this game that we're about to talk about.
Here it is. Here it is.
Okay. So before you guys got here, whoa,
So
did
intense.
we lose someone?
This
What's
one
going
is-
on here?
this is
Come on, guys.
intense. I know what's coming.
I know what's coming.
All right. Before you guys got here, we were talking about the different press conferences. We were trying to pick like what was the winner. You know, like what out of these things, what was like the creme de la creme of the press conference. Sony, there were like 5. You know, it was like, well, it's one of these 5. We're not sure exactly what it is. And we're going through and we're just like, okay, Electronic Arts. Oh, but Battlefront. Duh. I see Star Wars on this list. I'm assuming it's not the Old Republic expansion pack.
Definitely not.
We're talking about Star Wars
Yes.
Battlefront right now.
Yes.
I'm not saying the Old Republic isn't great. I'm not saying that expansion pack isn't going to bring a lot of resources that desperately needed to that MMO.
That's what you said?
But come on, folks.
So tell me this isn't a dream scenario. I don't know if the viewers remember Chris Wynn. But lo and behold, right when I'm going to do all of my Star Wars Battlefront stuff, who joins my party? Chris Wynn. We did all of it together.
That's
Whoa.
so great.
It was the best.
Really cool.
Did that positively affect your perception of this game?
Oh,
Did
I-
that skew you? And I
I bounced my hype right off Chris Wynn, and he bounced it right back. Oh, yeah.
So right now we're checking out survival mode. We got this amazing trailer during the Sony press conference where we got to see Hoth in all of its glory. Got to control different vehicles. We got in X-wings. We got in TIE fighters. We got on and at like bomb and stuff. And we saw Vader pop out at the end. What mode did you play? What did you do? I want all of it.
Okay. 2 modes. Did the Horde mode, co-op, local split screen. That was the behind closed doors.
Just 2 players.
Hands-on, yeah. That was 2 players.
That was you and Chris Wynn?
So Chris Wynn wasn't able to play at that.
Oh, okay.
part.
Got it.
But he was there. He was like, these aren't PS4s. There's no way. They're Titans under here. There's no way. Because this game split screen is running and looks perfect.
Wow.
Perfectly. Not a hiccup, not a hitch, no glitches. It looked fantastic. So you can switch between third and first person. I think all that stuff's been stressed, but it was really intense. The stormtroopers just flood in from each side. There were 6 waves. I think he said there's going to be 16 waves in the final build. It was a struggle. Wave 5 and 6 we were nervous. Like when we beat it, the guy next to me, we didn't say a word the entire time. But when we beat that wave 6, vocal high five. It's like, yes!
Vocal.
Yeah, it was vocal. It played really well. You have your jetpack is tied to R1. It's on a cooldown.
Meaning everybody gets this jetpack. Doesn't matter what class you have.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, we both had it. So I'm pretty sure everyone had the jetpack. I was a little confused on the abilities. You have like a Destiny style shield that you could use. There are battle pickups throughout the map that you can go. Each time you use your shield, you can recharge it.
I've seen that used against an airstrike. The green lasers from the sky.
So that one is your super move.
Oh, okay.
Which again is like Destiny. That you push down L1, R1, and that comes up. Holding triangle. See that one right there?
Yeah.
That one's like an offensive one. There's another one that's like a shield that comes over you, and you can't be hit.
And that's OP.
It was really strong because the stormtroopers have it.
Oh.
And oh my god, they take hits. You're just unloading on these things a million times. Shield does not go down. There were times when they would just keep advancing on me with their shields, and I'm just shooting wildly. Like, what do I do? Dead. You get lives depending on how well you clear a wave.
Are those the hearts we see?
Yeah. If you die, you can come back by using a heart, or you can wait for your partner to try to finish the round.
Yeah.
So it's, risk versus reward.
I got this, buddy. Yeah.
ATSTs are a force to be reckoned with when they come. They destroy everyone. You definitely want to get a battle pickup. You want to get a rocket. But yeah, it was pretty standard horde mode. There was a pod that it just showed right there. You have to, certain waves will have you defend a point, which I thought was really cool. It wasn't just like, okay, survive the rounds. There's an objective, which really mixed it up. It forced you to go to a different place. We failed the objective one time. We didn't defend. We got overrun, but nothing really happened. So, and then I asked him.
Maybe just
the guy
optional.
didn't know, yeah.
You know, like maybe you can get a bonus.
Maybe
if
it
you
took a
pull
life.
off.
I just didn't notice. That'd be really cool. If you failed that objective, that you would just lose a life.
Does anything cool happen on that final round?
Nothing cool because it was only wave 6, and they said there was going to be 15 or 16 total.
Oh, so the cool thing will happen on that 16th wave.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but it was standard.
But one of two
but
modes.
Really fun.
What was the other mode?
The real deal. The 40-man Hoth.
40.
Oh man.
40-man Hoth battle, Jones.
40 people alive
I'm
at E3
so
Yes!
playing this
jealous
game.
that you got to
Yes!
play this.
Cool.
It's there on the
So
floor.
does this say
You
40
can
person
play.
appointment, or did you go? Was this at the booth?
This
And
is
just, like,
there.
people are in line.
This
wait
is
in
there
line
in
and
line.
they-
Yes,
Okay.
this is there.
All right. Which
It
side
is-
are you on?
We're rebels.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I want to be.
Right.
Yo, that stormtrooper armor in the snow, camouflage.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
Yeah. So, played a lot of Battlefield in my day. This has given me a Battlefield vibe, but a little more focus. So I love playing Battlefield 64 player. That's the only way I like to play it. 64 large conquest. There are moments in Battlefield when sometimes the map is too big. You're kind of off away from everything. You got to get back to the fight.
Yeah.
And then there are moments that are the complete opposite when there are just too many people. Now it's like Call of Duty. You spawn, you die. You spawn. There's just chaos everywhere. This felt so perfectly balanced with the size and the scale and the amount of players at any given time.
How was the size determined? Did you find yourself like, I'm gonna run over this cliff? Whoop! There's the end of the map. I didn't see that coming. Like, was there any of that, or was it really clear? Like,
It was clear,
Okay,
yeah.
I know where I need to go, and if I go that way, what's the point? You know, I should stay focused on where I need.
Yeah,
to
it was
be
clear. So you have your objectives. Have the objectives been talked about at all?
Kind of. I've seen terminals. Like I
Okay,
saw the
yeah.
Endor mission. There were definitely objectives in that. Like
Oh
you had to
my
you had to
God.
call
So
in
we're
the
going
Y
up to
wings.
this satellite dish over here.
Here's
yeah.
where the hype begins.
Okay.
Okay, so this is where I actually kind of liked being Rebels. Actually, now that I think about it, I'm glad I was. So these AT-ATs are pushing forward constantly. They're just you don't want to be anywhere near these things. They're just relentlessly shooting down anyone in their path. Now they have a health meter, both of them, 100%, and that's constantly ticking down through the course of the map. The Imperial's objective is to get those AT-ATs all the way to a certain place to blow up the power
That
core.
weird
or whatever.
generator.
Shield
Yeah,
generator.
In
yeah.
the movie.
Yeah.
The Rebels can't have to go to certain points on the map, like uplinks. You control those uplinks, and those summon Y-wings that do additional damage to the AT-ATs. And there are other objectives, like an EMP blast, that makes the AT-ATs vulnerable. So when they're vulnerable, they're susceptible to rockets and any kind of machine gun fire. So
Cool.
everyone just starts shooting those. Now the battle pickup on the map, there's an X-Wing and a speeder. You pick up the battle pickup.
Yeah.
You hold L1 R1. You do a little cooldown. You are now inside the X-Wing
this.
or the land speeder like
we are.
this.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was like, the guy was standing right there. I was freaking out. I was like, tow cables. How do I bring this thing down?
Yeah.
He's like, it's got to be vulnerable. Wait for it. So I'm just strafing back and forth. I see ATSTs. I'm picking them off because I know, land speeder versus ATST, you're done.
Yeah.
So I'm just going back and forth. You have a little boost mechanic that you can do.
Yeah.
So the things are vulnerable. He goes, they're vulnerable. Hit it. So I go, tow cables initiated. This little mini game happens. There are 4 dots. Okay,
Whoa.
This is awesome. There's 4 dots and a meter, and with each dot that you do, the meter shrinks. You have to hold the right stick steady. in the middle.
Cool.
So you're going around, and as people are shooting you, it's gyrating, and the meter's going up and down, and with each one, the meter is slower or lower, so your margin of error is less.
Yeah.
But the enemy team keeps shooting you like 100 times.
Yeah. They know what you're doing.
Breaks your tow cable.
Oh.
So I tried like 3 tow cables. Like the third one, get down to the last dot. I'm like, this is it. I'm bringing this thing down. Match ends.
Oh man.
Oh, no.
We lose. I was so sad. The guy was like, you almost had it. You were so close. That was it. Biggest unfortunate thing, there was no Luke Skywalker, no Darth Vader prowling the map. There were no Jedis or Sith anywhere. No heroes, no Boba Fett.
Here at E3, or they just didn't show up in this particular match?
Yeah, they do not show up at all, I guess. They were disabled.
Got it.
I would have given almost anything to be in that room to hear, how do I bring it down?
How do I bring it down?
It's vulnerable. Hit it.
So jazzed up.
You know what's crazy to me about this game is Battlefront never looked good. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It was always like it compensated for how big it was by like looking okay. This looks so good.
This looks incredible. Even the
Yes.
hallway on Hoth was like, whoa.
The sound,
Like,
the
when we
sound is
first
a
saw it.
joke. Battlefield always gets praised on its looks. Battlefield 3 and 4 have, in my opinion, like Last of Us style, the best possible sound design ever in a video game is Battlefield. When you put on your headphones, you are transported into the battle all around you. You combine that with these iconic noises, it
All straight
felt
from the
like
archives.
you were in
And
Star
that-
Wars. You were living Star Wars.
And again, like just something to point out, like the accuracy and like how much work that they've put into this. Like, I'll praise Disney Infinity. I love that game. But like when that first trailer came out and Han's like running on the Tauntaun, it was like, "Pew!" It was like, what was that? I don't know. Like that was like that was some sound effect that Disney was like, that laser blast, whatever. And like these guys are like you see the documentaries, they got like the Stormtrooper helmets. I mean, that's even why at the press conference they like, we got to show you that Stormtrooper helmet again. This is in game. We can't believe it.
Yeah.
Because they're so happy to have all these resources, like the interiors of the TIE fighters, like all the sound effects.
So
Crazy.
the guns too. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I have a burning question.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
had it since you started this.
Yes.
So, whenever games you can switch between third person and first person.
That's funny.
One of them is compromised. Like one of them is just straight up not as good.
Yeah.
Do you feel it? Did they get it? Did they nail it?
So glad Chris Wynn was there. Chris Wynn was like, I want to play first person, but third person is OP. You can see around corners, you know? Third person, you have way more awareness, but when you zoom in, it's a little different. I know they zoom in some of these trailers in both third person and first. When you're in first, you have more of a reticle, more precision. I feel like in first person, but more visibility in third. So I was kind of switching back and forth. Down on the D-pad switches sides. You can do left or right, and you hold it, and it goes into first or third. You just keep.
Not to
switching
mention
back.
immersion, first person. You're there. You are that.
That's
You
why
are
I
that
did-
stormtrooper. You are that
100%
rebel
that.
soldier.
Did you?
So they both felt well. They both felt great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's my question.
But I mean, it's really hard to tell. I mean, I only played for 30-ish minutes. It's hard to tell if one of them will be OP. I mean, clearly third person you see way more, but first person you zooming in, you have the scope.
How long was your match? To wrap things up, final question.
20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Whoa.
20 minute
20 on 20
marathon
for 20 minutes.
battle.
I'm doing it. That's like the first thing I'm going. I don't care what my first appointment is tomorrow. I'm going
Doors
straight over
open,
there, checking
run
this
over
out.
there.
Go.
And it was your job. I'm grateful for you for checking this out, but you also suck, Huber.
I'm sorry.
But thank you for reporting, man.
Darth
I can't
Maul
wait.
and Battlefront
Yep.
Jones just
You had a
digging
good- you had a good
the
Star Wars
knife
day.
deep in your belly.
Yep. But hopefully I will come back tomorrow and be like, Huber's right. It's awesome. Thanks, Hubes.
I remember when I
That less than 20 minutes? That was
I
pretty
got
long.
the X-wing.
That was pretty long. Yeah, it was good though.
I got the X-wing
It was
immediately.
good. It was like
Had no idea what I was
18.
doing. Classic Battlefield.
Yeah.
Immediately got in the X-wing, crashed head first into the AT-AT.
Not bad. Yeah.
did it hurt
But
it?
then the land. No. No, I just exploded.
Also, I think those are A wings, not Y wings.
These are snow speeders.
No, the
Y-wings are the bombers.
Y-wings are the bombers.
The
Yeah,
Y-wing
yeah.
Oh, they're
bombers.
way up.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can
Yeah.
fly those?
No, I'm not sure if you can fly them.
No, you can't.
You call them in.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
get summoned in.
Those are your airstrikes.
The ATTs, yeah.
Love Y-wings.
Yeah. Oh,
The pickups before we move on to the next Just Played, were those just for you? Were you like, if there were two guys that
No.
saw that X-wing pop up, like could
He
they just
could
make a
grab it,
bowl
yeah.
for it? Okay.
yeah. So they're all over.
Because I was talking about, I played Halo Warzone last night, and one of the things that's cool about that is when you like summon a vehicle, like it's yours, like you get it, and so you can like give it to somebody if you want to. You can just hop out and be like, there, here it goes, take it, or you can just hop in that immediately. It's not like this helicopter spawns for anybody, and then some idiot grabs it and crashes it right away.
So Ben Moore, this is like an Overwatch situation. Battlefront is done. Just
What?
release it.
Come on.
Just
Why?
release it.
Why do they do this?
Like it's
one match.
perfect.
Do you know why it is?
It's perfect.
It ain't done. It ain't done.
No, here's what it
Just
is. I'm
release it
convinced
already.
It's only shown 3 heroes.
That's all we need.
There's got to be at least
what
10
DICE
in this
is
game.
doing with Star Wars Battlefront and what Blizzard's doing with Overwatch is they're like, they don't deserve it yet. We're gonna sit here in our offices and play it every day, all day. We're not even working anymore. The game's done. We're just playing it. Cause you're not working.
Can you blame them?
No, that's what
No,
I
I
would
think
do.
this is.
I'm just joking.
They are
by the
showing
way.
off a game at E3 this year that they have clearly worked a great
So-
deal on.
I have a quick question for Kyle.
Yeah, what's up?
Multiplayer only, Kyle. You're not into it.
I'll play through.
Love Star Wars.
I'll
Are you
give it
gonna
some
play
time.
this?
Is what I'll do is I'll give it some time.
Give it some
you
time.
know,
You know-
I'll have like a week.
I'm personally offended
Yeah, come on.
that Kyle will not ride out with us.
Kyle, ride
I
out.
will ride out. I will
Okay.
ride out.
Okay.
And but then I'll be like, okay, it's been great.
All right, we got 1, 2, 3 more of these to do. I'm going to start with the one on these that I'm actually least excited about.
Yeah.
Let's just wrap it up.
Eat your pizza crust first.
I'll get one more. Yeah, exactly. I don't eat pizza crust at all. Which is a question about this game. Is this pizza crust that I'm going to eat? That's the
Sure.
question.
All right.
Or just have to review, and then I got to just shove it back.
Whoa.
I got to drink lots of fluids, and then just
know
let
what's
the
coming.
pizza crust get soft in my
don't.
mouth, and then just swallow it down. So we got one more from Ben Moore, and one more from Hero, and then we'll go back to Ben Moore for the last one.
'Kay.
Okay.
Like spice it up.
Yeah.
We haven't done the one I'm most excited about yet.
Well, I don't think it's this one, so there you go. Okay, so I know which one you're excited about, and I'm curious about it, and I'm sure the viewers at home are curious about. But all right,
It's gotta be in the end.
it's gotta be set. You know?
Let's go.
You just, I don't know, just imagine Ian or Don in the editing room. He's just
Yeah.
like fast forwarding through these. And
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
just like, oh, Brandon did his shoulder thing. Okay.
Oh,
I'll
I'm
just start
writing
here.
down time.
What I love
codes.
is
I'm writing down time codes, so
you're
we don't
writing
have
time
to do
codes,
that
okay.
later.
Yeah. There's a live audience who gets like see behind the scenes of
Yeah,
how Just
this
Plays
is-
work. It's very
This is
fun.
how you're gonna get this the whole week. You're
Yeah,
gonna get
yeah.
Just Blades with me coming back.
Nothing
and
gets
talking
by
about stuff
Ian.
like that.
You do anything weird on a Just Played or anything.
Use
He
some-
knows. He knows.
Use the
exactly.
time code right
Yeah.
now. Ben Moore, I really, 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 really selfishly enjoy the Assassin's Creed franchise, and am grasping for reasons why. Not that I should play this game, because I'm going to play Syndicate. I know it's going to happen, but why I should really be excited about this game. Because there's just a lot of, I don't know, it's not hooking me like other games have before. And I'm the first to defend. It's just some franchises you just love. And so a lot of people talked about, I have franchise fatigue with Grand Theft Auto and Assassin's Creed. And I'm always the one defending it. And I'm just stepping away from defending this game because I'm just not sure.
Sure.
But you got to check it out. Did you get to play it?
I did.
Okay, that's
I played.
That's huge.
I played a lot of
Okay.
Assassin's Creed Syndicate, and I'm torn completely in very opposite
I
directions.
love when Ben is torn.
He's
I
at
am
least torn.
torn.
At least we got torn.
I am torn.
love
Nothing's
There
like
are
torn.
things about it that I loved and
Whoa.
thought were. It made me want to play Assassin's Creed game more than I have in years, and then there were things that were completely and utterly terrible.
Start with love.
Start with love.
Yeah.
Okay, so the thing that I loved is I loved the characters, and that's a big deal for me. I think when Assassin's Creed is on its A game, and I'm gonna say it, I don't think it is very often. They can have some incredible characters that I love. I'm not gonna lie, I love Ezio Auditore.
Ezio is a legend.
There was like.
Legend status.
The only reason I collected all of the feathers in Assassin's Creed 2 was because I felt connected to Ezio. I liked controlling that character. I liked how he interacted with the world.
And you know
so
how
I
much
wanted to
Ezio
do
loves
everything.
feathers. I mean, it's
He
documented.
was getting him for his sister, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Context.
right. There you go.
It
You
ended
wanted
up,
him.
the payoff was kind of a letdown, but I'm still glad I did it. So you play as two twins in Syndicate. They're the Fry twins. And what I love about them is they have this confidence in each other, and they have a very interesting dynamic. So the guy is extremely cocky, does not take crap from anyone. You know, Ezio was kind of a playboy, kind of a like a Han Solo character. You know, too cool for school. The Fry, the male Fry, is just kind of like a punk. He'll just get in your face and he'll find your weak point and he'll just like spit it out at you, you know? Like he's one of those guys that finds your weak point and then just twists the knife. And what's cool about it is the girl, it doesn't feel like she's kind of his support. She doesn't feel like his backup. She feels completely on his level in a totally different way. She's a lot more serious. It's clear that she has herself put together a lot better, but at the same time, she's not afraid to kind of throw in a one-liner at the right time. And they opened up this scene where they had this friend that was running this business, and it was clear that this friend wanted them to kind of go a certain way, and they they decided to go a completely different direction, and the friend that they had was getting super flustered, and the male Fry just kind of said, "Hey, tough luck," and like slammed his mug of ale down and left. And then the girl was like, you know, sorry about that, but yeah, we're gonna go this way. And then like coolly walked out as she put on her hood. And they exuded so much personality that I wanted to see their stories through to the end.
That is getting me hyped, Ben.
Yeah.
That's what he
But
loves.
it's interesting because the cockiness is actually what I didn't like. Is because I did like this learning phase. You know, going into with these characters being like, what assassins? What are those? You know, and then they learn a bit about that. They get the skills. You know, and it slowly affects their personality, and you see how they grow as a character through what they learn about the creed. And it just seems like Jacob has no growth. You know, it's just like he's going to be an ass at the beginning, he's going to be an ass at the end, and then that's it. That's the whole game. You know, it's like it seems like I'm starting with this character 40% of the way through the story, as opposed to I'm like, where's this Jacob? You know, they're like, I think there was one sentence that I repeated this on videos before, but they're like, Jacob was born to rule the streets, and you're like, well, the game's over then, I guess.
I see where you're coming from, and I think that's
it's like in Star Wars now you're like, the Jedi were born to rule the galaxy.
But
it's like
what if I told you everything I did in my gameplay demo, everything that he did, he was doing it for a reason, right? It's very clear that he grew up in a rough environment where he was trampled by people that just had more than he did, and now as an assassin he gets to defend those people. Every single thing that I did in my demo he did for the impoverished people of the borough. So I think as long as there's good motivation behind it, I can appreciate that cockiness.
Yeah, I guess the vibe I got is that he did it for himself. He did it to feel awesome.
That's not the vibe I got.
Because the gameplay ends with him and Evie like standing on the thing, being like, "We're awesome," you know, and like that was the first thing we saw. And then it's just like, no, but he's really a man of the people. And you're like, okay, you know, you can say that on paper. I'm just not feeling that. I mean, I got more of a juice out of what you just said, being like he got kicked around when he was a kid. It's like I need to see that. You know, I need to have an impetus for like why I specifically care about not only taking over the rich people in this society and bringing the man down. It's like that's just inherently exciting. But why I want to see Jacob do it, this guy specifically. So I dig it. Yeah, you're selling me more on the character than they have.
I think that after you said what you said, I definitely could see the game going that direction, but they sold me, man. That demo,
mechanics. I mean, we spent a lot of time talking about characters, but when we got carriages, we got your your grappling hook in the game. We have it looks like like new takedowns is something that looks like a lot more like fisticuffs and brawling and stuff like that.
Yes.
Lots of grabbing your leg and slamming you down and stuff, as opposed to just kind of like this artful dance of blades that we're used to in prior Assassin's games. So of the systems that are currently at work in Syndicate, what was your favorite? What did you dig?
The coolest one is definitely the how you can create basically a grappling point from any two buildings essentially, and you can just shoot it and you just zip over there and you're there, and it added even more fluidity to the movement that I greatly appreciated. The downside is I don't know if I liked any other mechanic.
Going up a building super fast? That's kind of nice.
It is super nice, and that's the thing I love. That's the tool that I love. But you were talking about this emphasis on fisticuffs, and there absolutely is. I feel like when you kind of get close together, I didn't have a sword that I could use. I just used my fist and I got in there and
Breast
I punched
knuckles?
guys. I didn't have breast knuckles. Maybe they're in the game. I don't know. But the problem that I had with this is it seems like they're trying to make the combat more interesting, right? Where in Assassin's Creed, the problem that I had is you could be facing an entire army
50.
and you just go counter, counter, counter. You're
Like
dead,
Middle
you're dead,
Earth.
you're dead, you're dead. And there was no skill to it. There was no finesse. I didn't feel like I was accomplishing anything. I feel like in Syndicate, they take away a lot of the kind of UI telegraphs. You don't have that like flash or slowdown. You have to be aware of when somebody is attacking you, and you have to be able to counter it without sort of anything signaling you. But while that was cool at first, the attacks are so deliberate that once again, I felt like I was going through the motions and just countering punch, punch, punch. The final thing that I did in the demo is a gang war. It was just this street brawl where the crowd was surrounding us, and we had to take out this gang. And all I had my fists, I had throwing knives, I had poison darts, and my gun. But I was like, no, I'm going to take out all these guys with my fists.
Just your fists.
But it was too simple. I just countered everybody, and then they were all dead, and I was done in a minute. And I was just like, no, the build-up and the way the scenes look, it should be. I hate it when other people use this word, but it should be more visceral. You know, it just it felt systematic.
It just
and
happens.
It just
Because
happened.
that will happen a bunch of times to fill up the map, basically.
Right. Exactly. The other thing is, I think they stole this. Maybe they didn't steal that out of Mordor. Maybe it was conceptualized around the same time. But there are sort of these fire pits where thugs will sort of gather around, and you can shoot poison darts into the fire pit, and it will create an area of effect blast. And anyone caught in that blast, they'll go berserk and they'll start fighting each other. And that sort of reminds me of Shadow of Mordor with the poison.
Rogue did that, didn't you?
Oh, did it do it in Rogue? I didn't play Rogue.
Didn't Rogue have like a cloud AOE like stun berserk mode where you could like make them fall asleep? You could like shoot a grenade and that would blow up, and then everyone in the grenade would like all freak out and start attacking each other, or fall asleep, or die, or.
Yeah, I think something along those lines. I'm trying to remember. I'm also trying to.
There's your definitive answer, everybody.
The idea that they're all like warming up next to some fire pit and then just explode in a poison cloud that makes them hate each other to death is so funny to me.
It is funny, but again, I like it in open world games when they don't telegraph your options so explicitly.
Oh, I know.
Right?
Yeah, it's just like, get away from that
It's
fire.
like,
yeah.
Hey, here's this flashing fire pit. Maybe you should put a poison dart in there. It's like, you're basically hand-holding me through this. I don't feel inventive doing this. It's just like some
Well,
little
and there's like
thing
planks
that I
you can
do.
shoot out, and the like environmental
but
stuff
it's
that
like
you
they're
can drop
glowing.
on people.
It's just
yeah,
all of
and
it
it's
is
like,
so
what are you,
obvious.
Dude, what are you doing standing directly underneath it?
There's also just, I know the game isn't finished, but God, was it rough.
Really?
Yeah, there was this big brawler guy. They're kind of the toughest guys to take out if they spot you. And I was sneaking around, and the guy walked right in front of me. It could I was almost touching him, and he didn't get alerted or anything.
You know that I don't hate anything more than when that happens in a stealth game.
Vision
when
cones.
You are kneeling a foot away from someone and they don't see you.
It just makes me think, why am I even going through the effort of sneaking if it doesn't
why?
matter?
Yeah.
So that happened, and that was a huge bummer. The other thing that really got me and totally broke the scene for me was that I saw the same faces. So you have these different character types, right? So you have the bruiser that has a lot of health that's hard to take down.
And he's like the bald guy,
Yeah,
correct?
yes, he's the bald guy.
You called it, Kyle.
Yeah.
And then you have sort of this guy in the top hat that's like the scouter. If he sees you, he'll go like raise the alarm.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you have this sort of this woman that has a dagger, and she's very agile and she'll attack you super quickly. For each of these archetypes, I saw the same faces. Probably for each of them at least a half dozen times. Like not only in the one mission, in the one area where I had to go and find and kill somebody, I saw the same face repeated again and again and again. And then in the gang fight, it was like those people that I killed in the mission were back suddenly.
On your
They had
team.
they had the exact same shirt on. They had the exact same face. And I'm like, it's ridiculous.
Every burrow has a knife, lady.
Yeah, exactly.
Is
So
there
that was a
any-
huge bummer.
Because Assassin's Creed 2 culmination of the franchise. I'm sorry.
2 is the culmination of
Yes.
one game?
Assassin's Creed 1 and 2.
Yeah.
2 is the best.
All right.
2 is the best Assassin's Creed because it had the creator of the franchise. He did 1 and 2, and then he left.
Executing his vision.
2, in my opinion, is the best Assassin's Creed. It has the best character, has the best story, has the most meaningful side quest. Building Montenegro and the city and upgrading your shops. That was awesome. And then Assassin's Creed 4 was another fantastic game in the series because it added meaning to things as well. Upgrading your ship felt extremely rewarding and extremely valuable and meaningful because taking on the Man of Wars was really, really, really
Oh, I remember
hard.
that. That's cool. It was like the optional bosses.
The optional bosses.
I love that.
It was really hard to do. You had to work for it. And so many of the other Assassin's Creeds, you're just doing things to do. There's no payoff whatsoever. Did they hint at any kind of systems in this? Are you building your gang?
So the gang burrow is that. So when you successfully do one of these gang wars, those people join your side.
Yeah.
But I didn't get to see the extent to that mattered. You know, I didn't see like, okay, what are these people going to do for me? Is the bald guy going to go beat up people? I don't know. So I do want to end on a positive note though, and I want to gauge your thoughts on this. So after I killed the guy in the area that I was supposed to kill him in, they fast forward and they had me do another mission essentially, and I had to. It was a classic Assassin's Creed chase scene, right? So you're like, oh no, you're trying to kill me? I'm going to run away, and so you chase after them, and then you get into this cart, right? This buggy, if you will, and she's in her own. You have to chase after her, and I love the way that the buggies felt, right? You get unlimited boost, but if you're boosting while you're turning, your buggy will like turn on one wheel, and it just it has this sort of this looseness to it that felt realistic and believable. And what I liked about it is what I could have done is I could have whipped out my pistol and shot this woman if I was skilled enough to get close to her.
Nathan Drake.
Or if I ran out of ammo, which I absolutely did, I could have, if I got close enough, I could have jumped from my buggy while the horse was still running onto her buggy, clambered over to her, and stuck my assassin's blade in her head, and that would have been awesome. And what's cool is if you do that, you don't have to do the gang war. You're one step ahead. And that's another sequence that you don't have to go through. If you fail and she reaches her objective, your last out is this final brawl in the street. And I like that. I like that sort of more difficult objective up front.
Brad knows. I'd fail on purpose. I want that brawl. I want that brawl in the streets.
The chase was way more interesting than the brawl, though, unfortunately.
So does it sound like work can be done? I mean, what you played today, is it just like, hey, that's Syndicate? Or like, maybe they'll take the lessons that they learned from E3, the lessons that they learned from Unity, and apply that, to this game, hopefully, and polish it up? I mean, fingers crossed.
I hope so, but I feel like the things that I'm complaining about have been complaints for a very long time, right? So the stealth not feeling quite right. They're being repeated faces. That was a complaint in Unity as well. So I hope so. I'm going to play it. I'm on board. I like I said, I want to see the story of those characters through. But
They've got us.
I have reservations.
They've got us. We're invested. It's really hard to back out. Who was saying that if they take a year off, everyone will bail? Someone was saying that yesterday.
Ouch.
Someone was saying if they take a year off from
Omar.
Assassin's Creed.
But-
Omar was saying that because Brad, he's caught up reluctantly.
Yeah. Well, now I gotta play this
Yeah,
one too.
I guess I have to play
Out of
this.
obligation.
People won't bail if when it comes back it's something huge and different.
But what I don't like is they don't respect the fans.
Yeah.
What are they doing with the modern timeline story? It's like it's not there, right?
Yeah.
What's going on?
No idea what's
Not focusing on it. Decide, it's just not. It's not inspiring. them
They're
at the moment.
waiting. They have 2 trump cards. This franchise has 2 trump cards. One trump card, feudal Japan. Hurry it up already. Second trump card, futuristic Assassin's Creed or modern. You catch up. The entire game is the present day stuff.
And I will end on
Present
this
or future.
because I've thought about this a
Third
great
trump
deal.
card.
I got a third trump card.
Third trump card.
You invade other games and assassinate other video game characters.
Yes! Oh, Kyle Bossman, I love you.
So like
That would
you
set
go
the
into
world on
Deus Ex
fire.
and you have to assassinate
Oh
Adam
my
Jensen.
gosh, yes. I would buy this in a
If
second.
we don't get that, I would like to
Yeah.
have a futuristic game where you go back and play everybody. So you play Altair, you play Ezio, you play Connor, you play everybody.
How's that
That's a
futuristic?
good
Get a little
idea.
side because you're in the future. You're in where they're, like you're basically John Connor getting in the machine and going back. Like you're there, when the technology was at its peak, when Abstergo, when like that final war,
You go Terminator style. Someone is using the Animus to mess up the timeline.
Yeah.
Right.
You have to go back and interact with them all.
Oh, there it is. We're done. We
no,
figured it out.
yeah.
There it is. Thank you, Ubisoft.
That sounds.
You're welcome.
That sounds awesome.
But you're willing to check out more. The analysis will continue from Ben Moore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There it is.
Torn.
I think it is funny though because there was a problem when everyone was saying, enough of this future stuff. I only want to play a pirate game, or I want to play a Gangs of New York game. I only want this, and now it's the complete opposite. I want to get back on track.
Well, it's not that so much. It's that you
we are wrapped up.
You put this expectation.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. You said fade out. You got it. That's your close.
Yeah, that's the close. That's fine.
Side
Oh, okay.
I just need to say this.
Yeah.
You're telling me when I faded out?
Brandon, I'm telling you, you had a perfect edit. You had like the perfect ending.
Okay, if you think it's manageable, you can do that.
I thought we were still going for chat at this point for the stream.
Yeah, this is for the stream.
We're always still going for chat.
This is
Yeah.
just,
We're gonna go for chat until we can't chat no more.
Yeah.
No,
Brandon,
Give it a second, though. You gotta give it a second.
What do you mean?
Like a pause.
Yeah, I know.
So
That's
someone
that.
can cut.
Hence me not being
Bobby
done. yet.
Burns.
Right.
Okay.
But
Bobby
now it's
Burns.
done. Now we're
get-
hard cutting it fade out.
Whenever
'cause
Ian's
Boston
making big
decided
motions,
that.
I get very distracted.
No, it's wrap it up.
No. It's
Because
this.
it's been going for 20
This
minutes.
is an
This
example
is all
of the
that's necessary.
conceitedness, Kyle.
I just want to
all
say
about
this.
Assuming
I
that
know,
you
that's
know
what Ben
everything.
Oh, hey, by the way,
Yeah.
that's official. Someone told me to do this at 14 hours of streaming. We've been in here for 14 hours.
That's too many hours, bro.
We have 15 minutes. We're gonna wrap it up.
Okay,
I'm
all right.
certainly gonna be get the hell out of this building in about
Can
15
I-
minutes.
We'll carry
Can
it
I
on.
go? I
Some
just
of the
gotta
time.
go
Some
pee
of
real
the time, I
quick.
guess.
Hang
Okay.
on.
All right.
We have two more things to
All
talk
right.
about.
Blood wants to queue up the next clip
good
at least.
All right.
What are we queuing
That
up,
was
Blood?
filler.
We are
Alright, yeah,
queuing
so
up
start it.
What's that?
Mirror's Edge.
Assassin's Creed is filler.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's filler. It's filler. I'm okay with it.
All right. Oh, it's so sweaty. That's just so everyone knows they've turned off AC at
There
this
ain't no
point.
AC in here no
They
more.
turned it off at 6. That
Yeah.
was 3.5 hours ago.
We got just a little oven in here.
It's
You don't want to be in that room. I'm
a
telling you that much
nightmare
right
in
now.
here.
Yeah, yeah.
That room is intense. We queued. We're good. We rocking.
Let's start it.
This is the E3 of dreams.
I know.
This is everyone's getting everything. If there's ever some franchise here, it's like, hey, what happened to that? Battlefront? You got it. Last Guardian? You got it. Mirror's Edge? Here it is. Mirror's Edge Catalyst.
Persona 5.
Oh, well, you're getting it though. You know you're getting
I
it.
saw Teddy dancing.
Persona 5 didn't go away
Yeah.
at E3.
It has a presence.
It didn't get canceled. There's no Kickstarter we're waiting
There is
to
something
reach
there.
fruition.
Like a booth, but not the game.
Is there something there, Mike Huber? Is there something with this? Did you play Mirror's Edge 1 and enjoy it?
You ready to explode, Brandon Jones?
Whoa.
Yeah, maybe we should do this just played later because
Brandon
I have
Jones.
one more to do.
I'm speaking to you directly.
Okay, I'll just.
Mirror's Edge Catalyst is open world.
Right?
Whoa.
They've talked about this.
World.
Really?
Yeah, I've talked about this.
When?
I didn't know.
Yeah.
They announced it like it was a big deal when we went into the presentation.
Yeah.
Weird. Maybe something that they hinted at, or maybe that's something that people really wanted.
Yeah, that's huge, dude.
Open world, huge.
Okay.
Traverse anywhere at any time.
Okay.
So the first question I had was, because I love the first game, was where are we? Is this a reboot? Is this, I need a definitive answer. I went right up to the guy. I was like, tell me now. It's like, this is a rebirth. So it's like a reboot, but it's kind of like a retelling of the first game. I think there's going to be threads from the original Mirror's Edge that are in this that are expanded on. But there's also her, a lot more of her origin.
Best of both worlds. You didn't play the first one, you're fine. You did
Yeah,
play the first one, you'll pick up
absolutely.
little
A lot-
things that you might not, miss otherwise.
A lot like Ratchet and Clank, taking the same approach.
Yeah, yes, very
Sure.
similar Ratchet and Clank. Good.
Everybody's
good call.
starting over. They're just dropping off, except for like Gears. Gears has the name there, but like Battlefront starting over. Mirror's Edge
Yeah.
starting over. So did you get to play it?
I did.
All right. And you played the first one, so I'm curious
Yes,
how those two
love
things translate.
This is so easy to play, but you can tell that you need to master the traversal, but when you do, it's going to be ridiculous. Because I was kind of jumping like a fish out of water. There's a lot going on, like to jump a far gap with a rail in front of it, you would have to time your jump to kind of springboard off.
Nice.
So it was all about precision. It was all about knowing when to jump or when to not. You're always sprinting, so you just move, you sprint. Left trigger is up stuff. Left bumper is down stuff. So slide, duck.
Yeah. I think that's how Mirror's Edge worked before.
So they dropped us in. There were 2 segments to the demo. It was a timed demo. The first segment was a story part. It was just walking us through a little bit of the story. Heavy Syndicate vibe, not Assassin's Creed Syndicate. EA's Syndicate.
What does that mean to you?
Syndicate, underrated gem. I
totally agree.
Yes, it has this pulsating power. I don't know why I said those words, but it just has this futuristic feel, like you're there. It has a life to it, like a Minority Report, like Half-Life 2, when you step off the train and you see the leader, talking out loud. It's just it has this immersive quality to it. Your faith, and you're getting released from prison, and this guy is saying, you have 2 weeks to get a job, or you're back in here.
Whoa.
Yeah. And
back into prison?
Back into prison. Something about having to get a job. I know a little bit more of the story I'll go into, but going out, so you leave the prison, and then this other, guy's like, yo, Faith, come here, come this way. So you go out like this side door, and he gives you this computer chip, and all of a sudden, it's like augmented reality. You start seeing all this like stock market stuff. Just a really cool futuristic sci-fi world that feels lived in. It feels alive. It feels like it has a personality. Little bit on the story. So Faith is a runner. The runners have a uneasy alliance with like the conglomerate people. The conglomerate guys just kind of control information. They control the city. Runners are allowed to freely work for them and go about their business and transport sensitive information. And then I forget the name of the other faction, but there's like a terrorist faction in there that didn't reveal themselves in the demo, but there's also another third party. And then there's this guy, Kruger, who it shows in the demo.
The boss.
Andrew
Wilson.
Yeah, Andrew Wilson, final boss, is hunting you down. You stumble upon some dark secrets, some important information, and now you're wanted.
No, we've seen too much.
That's it.
So we spend the rest of the open world game running?
No, so now open world, it dropped me in. There were 3 missions. There was one, Kyle, you're gonna hate this crap.
Oh boy,
you're gonna
what's
be
wrong?
So mad. No context. 0 context for these specific missions. Timed trial, like run to the point through, but there's no context, but they're so fun, Kyle. I promise you, this game, moving and traversing in this game is what it's all about. It feels good. I did an interview with one of the developers, and she gave me a tip. There are arrows pointing you in the direction to go into the path. She's like, you don't have to follow those. This is a time trial. You can go any way you want to get to the goal.
Nice.
And then you get 1, 2, or 3 stars depending on how long it took.
Yeah, the arrows will take you to 1 star, but if you want 3, you got to ignore those arrows.
I kept following him, kept getting 2 stars, tried like 7 times. Couldn't do it.
So it's not like just like, hey, runner, if you want to prove yourself, do this challenge mission.
Just time limit.
Whoa, weird.
Yeah, weird. Then the other one was context. It was like spray paint, graffiti, hack the billboards, kind of like it was getting a big Infamous vibe, Infamous Second Son. You hack the billboards to change to, freedom or whatever. That one was kind of tricky to get to. It was like, all right, get up high in this location. Just trying to figure out how to traverse upwards.
Cool.
Really fun.
So it's like, I see a billboard up there. I have to get up there.
Exactly.
How do I do it?
Yeah.
Okay, that is a cool thing.
And then the third one is, probably the most popular. It's get this USB drive to this point while you're being hunted, while you're being chased.
Sure.
So there was combat. felt really good. Really.
Because that was the thing.
Yeah.
I didn't like fighting people in Mirror's Edge.
Exactly. You wanted to avoid everyone at all times.
And you couldn't always.
Yeah. So the jump takedowns feel so good. You just jump from a ledge, land on someone and punch, and they just go down in one hit. There's a kick button that is really strong that can stagger them, but it's slower. There's a finishing move that I wasn't able to pull off. Omar was able to pull it off.
Finishing move.
Finishing move. They were like, in the demo, it was really funny. They were telling you how to play, and they were like, if you're up to it, try to pull off the ultra hard to pull off finishing maneuver.
What is it? What's the input?
I had there was no input. There was no context, no definition how to even do it or unlock it. Just went about my business, finished the thing, was like, oh, I guess I didn't do the finisher.
Omar, I just want to say, Omar is back there,
Yeah.
leaning against the wall with a Dr. Pepper and a grin on his face, like, I did it.
You pulled it off. How'd you pull it off, Omar?
Mashing buttons.
Mashing buttons. Mashing buttons.
So Hubert, you were talking about, that you do these time trials and you don't necessarily have to follow a very specific path.
Yeah.
My hope, as someone who enjoys open worlds, is, as I get to know these areas and you don't really need to look at the mini-map anymore, I can just tell, like, I just know that objective's over there. And now I'm starting to know Dying Light comes to mind, where it's like, now I'm starting to know the quickest way.
Yeah.
If there's little, like, grappling hooks or rappel lines or something I can glide down. Do you think or hope that is something that will happen in this game? Because it's like, I know this area, so now I have to do this mission where I have to go grab this. And it's like, oh, I know where I am. And like, I know I can just hop up onto this thing and get over. There's like a train that goes by or something.
So it's pretty huge. There are multiple environments she hinted at. There's like a dark below area. There's this really high in the sky. The area that I was in, a lot of it looked similar. Granted, I only had 10 or 15 minutes with it, but I couldn't really differentiate. I was just running. I was just going.
Are there upgrades?
There were no upgrades hinted at or talked about.
Is there a weird opportunity for microtransactions? Is this just a genuine open world game?
Yeah, I really don't think microtransactions would show up.
Cool.
Yeah, the objectives, just same as any Ubisoft game, just right on the map there. Open world.
If you want to, you can just get good at the controls and run around. Does it feel that way? You just like, I just want to explore this world and run around.
So Ben, I'm looking to you.
Okay.
Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah.
Easy to pick up. You're bouncing around, you're running around, but like you said, pretty hard to. And I played it for like a little bit. Pretty hard to master.
There's a curve.
There is a curve. There is a curve in this game. And I think when you start just nailing wall runs and sliding, there was this really cool segment with an enemy where I jumped down and landed on someone, ran along the wall, and then slid under pipes into another enemy.
That sounds awesome.
So just all about movement. They said in the demo too, as long as you keep moving, you're fine. Like with all these enemies, the enemies are trying to stop you. They're trying to corner you and contain you. If you just keep moving, you have a lot of power, a lot of momentum.
So they're not taking shots at me.
Yeah, no one in this demo had a gun.
Cool.
I know in Mirror's Edge 1 there were a lot of guns. You could disarm them.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were no guns. This person has a gun, kicks him out the window.
Love that there are no guns.
Yeah.
My least favorite part of the original Mirror's Edge was guns.
Yeah.
And maybe, that's something we'll see if they improve on that. Maybe they're still working out that system. Does this game have momentum? Is this something you're excited about? Is this something that you think will get better the more they show?
Oh my gosh, this story. I'm so excited to relive this world and revisit this universe. They are doing a reboot is awesome in this case because Mirror's Edge 1 came out and it was kind of a cool classic. It did well, but it kind of slid under the radar in a sense.
It didn't receive excellent reviews.
Yeah.
Either, yeah. Now
with the demand for them to go again, to revisit, they're going to say, we're just going to do it again and we're going to do it right. We're going to do it better. Doing a sequel would have been weird because now you can start with a bigger foundation.
I can't explain why I have this feeling, but I've always gotten the sense that this is the game and the character and the world that DICE loves. Mm-hmm. Like They are super excited to bring this back to life. I don't know what it is. There's just something I see in the
This producer I
trailers.
talked to was so delightful. She calls the fans faithful because of faith. It was incredible. It was just pure
Speaking of
passion.
fans, I'm sure they would murder you for the chance to play the game that you played today. And it's exciting to hear that that this is good.
Open world. Go anywhere at any time, they said. The world is yours to play with. It's really intense.
We just need more
That's
of
a
it.
good direction. It's a good
No
direction.
context too, Kyle. Floating orbs that you collect that are like system hack.
Brandon, you
drives or
gotta
something.
wrap it up.
Yeah, stop.
Yeah.
It's enough, Kyle.
No
There's a time and a
context.
place for that, Huber.
Yeah.
We want to keep things positive.
That is
and it sounds like
desk.
they're mostly positive. It sounds like you had,
Absolutely,
you had a good
100%.
time. Awesome. I'll check it out later.
Excited about the story.
Loving the story.
Really
It's gonna
excited.
end it on that.
Why do they gotta have orbs? I'm cool with orbs. Crackdown had orbs.
What about the time trials?
Yeah.
Those I ignore it. Remember I was playing Hulk, Ultimate Destruction? Time trials out of nowhere, tuned out of the game. I was like, all right, I'm done with this game.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
If,
Why does
if
Hulk
there's
have
any
time trials?
context breaking items in a game, Kyle's out.
I don't think Kyle enjoys video games. He's just in it for the context. Like,
Just in it-
does
I'm
this
just in
make
it for the
sense?
context. Yeah.
Did it for that story.
Every game. I dare you to explain yourself.
Yeah.
And only a few games have actually done it.
I
All
was-
right,
you know
one
what?
more of these guys.
Before we
Be
start,
quiet, Kyle.
I got a question for everybody. Do you think Super Mario Brothers could do well? I was honestly,
Here we go.
do you think it could do well?
Shut up!
Bossman,
Bossman, get off the stage!
Okay. In
wanna hear this,
1986,
Bossman, your mic is going away!
No, I want to hear
I
this.
really want to hear this. Kyle,
do you think
context and Mario.
Do you think Super Mario Brothers could have done well? Do you think it could have been a good game with no enemies and with no time limit? Do you
No!
do you think it could have been a game where you're
Answer.
just like
Question
that'd be bad.
answered.
where people just go in a world and like move around in
It
it?
pains me to think about it.
No.
That's what the next game is.
What's the next one? Go!
No, I was just trying to think about that. I was trying to think like if video games could just be things where you
If
go
you
in
need to think about that in silence during this Just Played, I'm going to let you do that.
I'm sorry.
That's
That is
okay.
that
That's
is
an
actually a
option.
really good question. Yeah. I respect it.
I like it. I like it.
Today's been full of really good questions. We are of no shortage for quips, for intelligent responses, for careful analysis, for pointed questions. We've had our fill. Lost it. We're good. Two more days. All right, here we go. Okay. All right, professional. Okay, we're going.
I'm standing for this one. I'm ready.
Standing for this
Yeah,
one.
I'm ready. I know what it is. I know exactly what it is.
We can't
I know exactly
We're all
what
standing.
it is.
Okay, we're all standing.
Here we
for
go.
this one. Okay.
I'm
Ben,
actually really good.
Bring
at
us
doing
home,
this.
Ben.
Okay.
Bring us
All
home.
right.
Okay.
This is because this is the one.
This
where-
is the one.
This is the one I want information about the more than any other game. Oh, how it feels, how it plays. No, I want information. I want facts.
Okay.
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 So I imagine you two guys are like detectives, okay, and you're going down an E3. You'll notice we're standing for this one. We're pumped because we need information about this.
Yes.
You know, it's just like, okay, we're excited about this game, but I'm nervous about this, or like, oh, you know, we're not excited about it, but I want to hear good news. I need a hook. I need the thing of No Man's Sky. I need to know, okay, we're getting to the center of the galaxy, great, but what am I doing? I'm going to a planet and I'm just smelling the flowers and then I fly somewhere else? What is happening in this game?
Yeah, tell
Ben
us.
Moore.
Sean Murray would not like you. He wouldn't like you. I'm sorry.
All right.
And
Whoa.
That's fine.
no, hold on.
Whoa.
The reason
take
I am the most the reason that I am most excited for this Just Played
All right.
is because this is the first I've been working in this industry for 2 years. This is the first time that I feel like I had an emotional connection with a human being. Like it wasn't just, hey, your game is cool. No, you said something that made me reflect on what it means to be alive, basically.
What about For Honor?
For Honor was different. It was like the game impressed me, but it was like, no, your vision, you going after your dreams, and the way that you said it, and the emotion with which you said it, really got to me. So there was a woman. I'm gonna jump to the end of this demo really quick. I
right.
need to say this. It's
Shooting
been
out the
burning
sequence.
inside me.
I want it.
The entire day. There was a woman who said exactly what you said. So we're going to the center of the galaxy. Why? What's the point? What's my motivation? What am I earning? And not Alex Hutchinson, Sean Murray, what he wanted to do, the facial expression that he had is he wanted to grab this person that asked the question and shake them, but he didn't. He didn't. He gritted his teeth and he said, what is the point? What is the point of anything? He said, I have played so many games where I'm just going around and I'm collecting things to get stars, to get puzzle pieces. And those are all great. I've enjoyed all those games. But he said, I'm excited about where games are going, okay? Super Mario Brothers was the game that got me excited about games. But what I'm excited about is Minecraft, right? Kids today, they don't care about achievement points. They don't care about trophies. They care about how they can express themselves in a virtual world. And my dream is to give you infinite possibilities, to give you this space that where you can fully explore. And I want to, as little as possible, I don't want to tell you what you should be doing. The impetus is on you. So in No Man's Sky,
Emotional.
there is no point. You are trying to get to the center of the galaxy. Do it or don't. Sean Murray doesn't care at all. He says the most popular way people have played his game is what they've done is they've found valuable resources like fuel, which is one of the most valuable. They've bought it for a really cheap price in one system. They've flown to another system, figured out that they could sell it for a super high price, and they've done that for dozens of hours. They've just been traders, right? But they don't pick the trader class. They organically figure out that this is something that's exciting to them. This is how they want to play the game.
Right, but right here at this Just Played is the first time I've ever heard the word trading. Like, you can trade.
Yeah, there's
Awesome.
classes in it.
There's no classes. It's
Okay.
just those people. That's what they
Can you
became.
be a monster?
Who are you
hunter?
trading with?
Can you go to different planets and like hunt
Yes,
monsters
yeah.
and get their
you
skins?
Can,
and sell them?
you can be okay. So
here we go.
here was something
Here we
that
go.
shocked me about No Man's Sky. Okay, so he's running around and there's this creature. It kind of looks like a ram, but it's purple. That's the best way I can describe it.
Sure,
I'm
purple
sorry.
ram, okay.
And he has his laser gun, which he can use to mine, but he can also use to shoot things. He shot the purple ram. Okay, all of a sudden. There's a wanted level. I'm not kidding. That's what he called it, a wanted level. Space police came and they started.
Because you can't kill that rhino.
Right.
Yeah.
And they started attacking him.
Yeah.
And then he shot back, and then their wanted level increased. And then this battle cruiser came in and was like, "No, you can't do that here." And he was so cagey about getting into the specifics. So again, speculation. But what it seemed like, and what Sean Murray implied, is that you don't know what you will encounter on different planets. And I felt for him. And I knew why he was so frustrated about answering what is the point. Because he legitimately, every single time he went to a new planet, he said, I don't know what's going to be here. There might be a police force that will come and reprimand you for doing these things. There might not be. There might be nothing. You might land on the planet and there's no life at all.
But at the same time, what you're talking about, like what you're saying, where you're like, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything in Spider-Man 2 for the PS2. You don't have to do anything in Grand Theft Auto 5.
No,
You don't
but
have to do anything in Ghost
Brandon
Recon
Jones,
Wildlands.
Brandon Jones,
You don't have to
Jones.
do anything in Super Mario. But
it's different.
You can because there is this
That's
road.
the center of the universe.
You know what I mean? And
you
it's
get
like-
to the center of the universe.
Right.
That is your
And when
kind of
Sean
carrot
Murray
on the
gets up
stick.
on stage
No.
and demos this game, he doesn't say, I don't care what you do, you can do whatever the heck you want. He's
What
like,
if
"No, no, no,
Mario
no."
had no enemies?
Oh
Yes,
my God.
okay, no. Hold on.
Oh my God.
Brandon Jones, there's a difference between not pushing any buttons in Super Mario and wandering around in Minecraft, right? There's a difference. You might call some person in the world might call both of those things doing absolutely nothing.
Right.
But that's not true, right? In Minecraft, what excites me the most is I'll just start digging holes, man. I don't care.
absolutely.
The minute I spawn, I'll just start digging holes.
Yeah.
I'm like, here we go. And the only thing that I want, right, this is why I buy so many packs in Hearthstone, I just want to find diamonds. And when I find them, do you know what I do? I log out of Minecraft. I'm like, oh, I got my diamonds, and I'm done. That's not how anyone else plays Minecraft. And that's it. Like, that's when No Man's Sky crystallized for me is he doesn't want to give you a list of classes. He doesn't want to give you stats. And I know some people out there need that. And I understand. This is not the game for you. It's just not.
Can you dig?
But I
You
like
can
Minecraft.
dig.
I dearly love Minecraft. I have had a resurgence of Minecraft like 5 times, where I will put the game down and then it's like, I gotta just get back in there. But to me, Minecraft, when they sold the first time I played Minecraft, I was like, got it. This is a game where I can do whatever the heck I want to.
That's what this is.
But it feels like that is not the way he has been selling it. He has not sold this game. We're just like, it's just a fun game because Sony's like, go out on stage and he's like, oh crap, maybe I can't say that. Maybe I can't sell the game this way and be really carefree and loose about it. He's like, oh, whatever, you can just do whatever you want. There's no rules. He's like, I gotta sell it as more of a standard experience than that. And so we've gotten the same demo 3 times where you're like, okay, right, you're pulling out their stars. I got it. And he's just like, I can go to this planet and like shoot stuff and stuff. And it just, here's the thing. You say you have infinite possibilities. Like, there's infinite things you can do. There's not.
I don't think there's infinite.
You can fly here. You can land. Then you can take off again and go somewhere else and land. And you can step out.
You can
and
say
shoot
that about
things.
any game.
But if
GTA, you get in a
Right?
car,
And you have an inventory, and objects go in, and then you can take them other places. That's like 8 possibilities. There are variants of how that. Right? There are variants of how those possibilities play out. There's like if I shoot things, I don't know if guys are going to show up, but I still just shot something and waited. You know, it's like in Minecraft, I can build a ladder, I can build a torch, I can build that ladder down to a train track. I can get in a train track.
And it's new life.
You build spaceships.
You
and
build new
shit.
spaceships.
Yeah,
Just
show
new
me building a
resources.
spaceship.
He's telling you build
Yes.
spaceships.
You
But
can
you're going out on
absolutely
stage
build
for the 4th demo of No Man's Sky, and you're not going to build a spaceship. You're going to
It's
do
an
the pull-out.
experience. He can't show you 30 minutes.
Honestly, I think you're right. And there was an anguish that I saw in Sean Murray that I wish you could have been there to see. I felt the same way as you. And even as he was doing the gameplay demonstration, I was like, this looks a lot like the trailers. When are we going to see new things? But the sense that I got is that man would rather die than show you what is out there to discover.
And the thing is, I'm not passionate about this game because I'm sensing a game I don't care about. Then I don't care. Then we have an 8-minute just played and we're done and we move on.
Discover?
Yeah,
You want
that's
to
the thing.
discover this
Like-
universe?
Like there's something exciting about going to a planet and you are the first person
Yes.
in the world to see this creature. Right? Maybe you can't, build a ladder out of it. Okay, Brendan Jones, I can't make a ladder out of this little bug that I found.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But I was the first person
Yes.
to do it. That is a story that I could come in and I could say, you've never seen this planet. You will never see this planet because it's so huge.
And you
I
say-
saw it and I get to describe it to you. That's what exploration
And
is.
who
That's what adventure
the
is.
hell knows what is going to be in the center of the universe? That you say there's no point. How many of us in this room are even going to make it to the center of the universe?
Right.
And what the hell is there?
I'm making
if
it.
you manage
I'm gonna
to
be
get
there.
So you know what?
The credits.
You
It's the
can
end
have
credits.
your ladders. We're better off
He
without
says,
them.
"Thank you for playing."
But the point being,
There's a knock at
Ian
your
just
door.
Said,
Yeah.
He just said you can build a ship, but you've never how do you literally? Is
Yeah,
it like a
but-
currency
but-
thing where
but-
like if you want to upgrade your ship, you need 400 things.
But that's just, like,
so I get 400 things and
Alright,
then I
I
just
can't
buy
tell
it.
if you're just trying to make a discussion or if you're really this dead
I
inside.
want to know. And
We've seen
people get
credits.
frustrated when you ask about
credits in
details.
there.
You're like,
but
hey,
the way
hey,
there's-
you want details about this game? Don't you want to
I
explore?
get it,
It's like,
I get it.
Yeah, I want to explore.
I get it.
Yeah,
Brennan,
what do you?
but no, you
what do
have
do with diamonds
no,
then
no.
in Minecraft.
This is the thing.
make
This
better
is
weapons out
this
of
is
it,
what separates. No, this is the thing that separates the people that are going to be into No Man's Sky versus the people that aren't. That's what it comes down to. You have to be okay with not knowing. You have to be able to boot up No Man's Sky, and you have to be comfortable with yourself, the money that you're spending on this game, and the time that you're committing to it. Where you're like, yeah, I don't know what I do. Are you okay with that feeling or not?
I'm okay with that, but does your gun get better?
Yes.
You're not okay with that.
Just say it's not a game for you.
So you're gonna go into a game with
Your gun
no
gets
idea how to
better.
customize, no idea how
Your
to
gun
prove
gets
yourself,
better.
no
So
idea
he-
how to
he
make it
actually
better.
said your gun gets better.
No,
Your
he
ship will
actually
never get
showed that.
faster.
He
Why would
actually
you want your
showed
ship
you
to get
can
faster?
upgrade
Why would your weapons
everything.
get more
So
gun?
your
Why
gun-
would you want a jump higher?
everything.
Why
Your
would you want
gun-
to improve yourself at
Your
all?
gun is a multi-purpose tool, right? So he showed an example where he was mining some rocks. There's this
Right.
giant orange rock. He shot it. He did it. He kind of sped it up a little bit. And he says, look, if you invest in this, you can get a better gun that fires more powerful lasers and allows you to mine more. Then he said, so you start in this very small solar system, right? And he said, if you want to think about like the most linear form of progression, it's all about your hyperdrive in your ship.
Right.
Okay, if you want to go to the
He
center of the
hinted at that
galaxy,
today. He said, I can only go this far because
right,
that's
because of my
engine right
hyperdrive. In order to get the hyperdrives that you upgrade are some of the most expensive things in the game. So if you do want to explore, you have to go deep into a planet. You can't just land and hang out there for a while and wave at a few creatures. You have to get in there. You have to mine. You have to explore every part of it to find these really rare and really valuable resources. If you want to upgrade your hyperdrive, what you need to do to reach the center of the universe, that's your progression.
There it is.
There it is.
How do you trade?
So every single planet, because they don't want players to get absolutely stranded.
By the way, question 2: how do you trade?
How do you trade? That's what's killing me. I just want to know.
Yeah.
Do you like walk up to a person?
This whole
Yeah,
display
no.
is the same question.
Every single planet or system, I can't remember which one, has a station, and there you can go and you can buy fuel, and you can do other things. So all of the resources that you collected, you can barter and you can try to get money for in order to put into your hyperdrives.
Great question from Elise Williams earlier today. Did you ever see a person? What a person looks like?
I never saw a person.
So this we still don't know. You know, like
That was me.
We said you might play and never see one
We
person.
may never
but
see a
you
person.
might also see.
You might also.
Yeah.
So what happened? And that's the question. Is like,
Isn't that what's
Can't you
exciting?
imagine that moment? You're sitting in your house at 2 a.m, hanging out. You've been playing No
This is
Man's
the
Sky for
greatest
3
game ever
months.
made.
All of a sudden, you see another person. That would be so scary.
It is not
So
exciting for
terrifying.
me as a video game journalist to not get answers about a game. That's not exciting.
What answers don't
Mystery.
you?
What do you
answers
hate
do you
about
have?
mystery?
How do you upgrade your ship? How do you? You're like, he went to a planet to mine.
Materials.
He's never mined in 4 demos he's done of this game ever.
He's mined.
Yeah,
has
they
mine.
did.
He has
They
mine.
mined. They
He has
destroyed the
mine.
thing.
The way you upgrade your ship is you shoot things with your mining / laser gun,
Right.
and you get resources.
Right.
Those resources, depending on how valuable they are, you can use to upgrade your ship.
Are those the
Now we're
elements?
talking about a video game.
Are those
Yes,
the elements we
yes,
see on the bottom of the
yes.
screen?
He's not
Yes.
allowed to play this game.
Because everything, like all the things that you think I'm like not understanding about this game, I understood the second it was announced. I was like, got it. And then he came back out and he's like, you can explore everywhere. I was like, you said that. And then he came out again and he's like, no, really, anywhere. And I was like, again, we're right, cool, that
But-
sounds great. I need that next thing beyond the
I
announcement.
get where you're coming from, but in a 10-minute demo at a press conference, how do you sell an entire planet? How do you sell that moment of discovering something for the first time? How
You
do
have
you
to
sell?
feel it. You have
yeah,
to play it.
like,
by
maybe,
pushing
maybe,
the bench, by pushing
maybe
the
they could've
stools
done it.
aside,
Maybe
and
they
getting on
could've
your
done it.
feet and screaming about it. I am not less excited about this game from this, although it might seem that way, Ben. I'm pumped. I want to play this game. Would you argue that this is probably the most curious people are about a game of everything that we saw at E3? They're like, we need these answers.
I need answers.
Which is why you're most excited
Ben
about it,
gave
because
me-
you
Ben
actually
just
got
gave
your
me all the
hands on
answers I
it,
need.
and you actually played it. So all of these things are real to you now.
I
and
didn't
think,
play it. I did not play it.
Well, you saw. I mean, you were right
saw
there.
somebody
There's no smoke
play
and
it.
mirrors,
Yeah,
and it was
yeah.
right there.
Yes.
And I think
demo crashed.
a lot of people are desperate for that. You know, to actually see, to put all those things together, to see the systems go, to see somebody spend more than just a stage demo with it.
Before I met Michael Huber, I didn't care about spoilers, right?
Okay.
Because I was a person that lived on the internet, and I just encountered that stuff, and I became numb to it. And then I met Michael Huber, and he taught me the integrity of a story, and how. And when I saw
That
how much,
moment.
when I saw how much it mattered to him, that's how much it mattered to me, and that's exactly what I saw in Sean Murray. That guy is it killed him. I've never seen a man look so defeated than he did. He did not want to be up there showing this game to these jaded journalists who just want to know how they can get the highest rank. He didn't want to do it. You could see it. It was so visible, right? He doesn't want to give you those answers, Brandon. I know it's frustrating, but it convinced me.
All right. So we learned more. There's still.
I feel like I know exactly what the game is now. The way Ben.
I don't want to see
described
anymore.
everything.
I'm actually good.
Yeah, I'm ready now.
You're good? Dark? You're
I'm
dark?
ready,
Media
yeah.
blackout.
You're going
Media
dark.
blackout. I'm ready to dive in and just start living.
For the record, Sean Murray, I like spoilers. I like more information on that stuff. So
loves
just keep it coming if
I'm
you guys
sorry
want
if
to.
I misrepresented you in any way,
I
but
think
I like you a lot.
I think there's any passion that Sean Murray has for this game, you have as much, if not more. No one is questioning that. Thank you, Ben, for your passionate portrayal.
Thank you for
of No
fighting
Man's
me.
Sky.
Thank you for
Thank
fighting
you for putting up with me and answering my questions. Thank you, Sean Murray, for making this crazy game. We'll see more.
I need another water.
It's a good thing we were standing.
Woo-hoo! And thank you guys for going to E3 today and checking stuff out.
Yeah.
Anything we need to take care of. So I will not be. I'll take this microphone.
Sure. Why?
Hey, everybody. Just more in the center of the stage.
Sure.
Filling up empty space. So I am not going to be here tomorrow until later in the evening. I'm going to the show to check stuff out. I will basically be popping in around the same time that you guys did. You were able to just pop out right at 6 o'clock and went straight over here. It took you about an hour.
Yeah, I left at 5:50, and then it only took me like 30 minutes.
Okay. So yeah, hopefully I'll get here 7 o'clock-ish, sometime around there, to check out all the stuff that I saw tomorrow. And of course, Ben Moore and Michael Huber will be going to the show and checking out even more stuff, possibly even getting more irrational and passionate about it in our Just Plays following.
Hey,
So,
irrational.
completely irrational.
Oh,
Very
no.
Rational thought.
I felt like I was potentially being irrational in that Just Played.
Okay.
Really incensed Ben.
It's
there.
a
That was-
game
that
of
was
the
good.
unknown,
Wow.
Brandon. That is the point, is that it's...
You don't just get to give a game a pass for being unknown.
That's the
Just
point
play
of this
exploration!
That is the point of
It
this
goes
game.
Exploration!
That's like if I said to you, like, oh, hey, do this thing where the whole point of the thing is this thing, and you're like, no, tell me everything about it, so I don't have to do the thing and enjoy the thing.
As a
for the
gaming
reason that
journalist,
it's
like,
a
tell me
thing.
about this game. Like, you're doing it wrong. Like, I'm not a journalist. I'm supposed to.
You don't have to
ask
be a
questions
journalist to
about
get
the
all the
game.
information. You can just discuss the feel, the tone. You're
Vibes.
their
Look, the
hosts.
vibes.
So there's a
The game is
prescribed
about
way
discovery.
to ask questions about this one particular video game.
Just this one. This is
This
No
one-
Man's
it's
Sky.
So it is
art
possible
game.
to have an incorrect
You're like
opinion about
you're
this
like
video
trying
game.
to have someone define the color blue by like its
Like
like
telling
hue
me,
and
telling me how
qualities.
to upgrade my ship is not defining the color blue.
I think honestly, it's important to classify it as a different kind of game.
It's a pointless
Doesn't
art
do
game.
that.
It's
Yeah.
the same as Proteus. It's the same as Mirror Moon EP. It's about fucking doing whatever. That's all it is.
There is no point.
What if whatever is upgrading myself? That's
For
my
you,
whatever.
that's what it is.
You're the
You
one
can do
telling me
that.
I'm doing it
You
wrong.
go mine that. I'm not telling you
Well,
anything.
that's for
We're
everyone.
just telling you over and over again. You can go and mine. You can go and upgrade your ship. You can go and do whatever. Like
You can do
there's
whatever.
no
That's the
reason to
point,
do
yeah.
anything
It's like a-
unless
it's
you
like
want
a-
to do it. Why do anything unless you want to? I don't play GTA because that game is irritating to me.
It's like an MMO, Star Wars Galaxies.
Yeah.
Some people lived
Right.
years in that game to sing in a cantina. That's
Right.
it. That's all they did. They just sat in the cantina and they sang, and that was enough.
Yeah.
It is what you make it.
Yeah.
It
If
is
you
your
just wanna
responsibility.
collect things and
you're,
sell them
you're
on
picking
another
a
planet,
class
you
of
do
Star
it.
Wars Galaxies, and you're like, okay, I want to be a rogue. How do I do that? I don't know. You want to be a rogue? Like, yeah, but what are the systems? Like, what abilities do I get at level 10? Like, you're a rogue, man.
I would love
Like,
that.
no. I want the specifics. Like,
love that.
that's not what
Wait,
Galaxies is about.
Wait. Someone in
the
chat.
search for information
Someone in
in No
chat.
Man's Sky is futile
Hang
and
on.
annoying to other people.
Hang on. Someone in chat just summed up all of this. Summed up all of this in 3 words.
What's the person's name?
I don't know. It's going by too fast.
Okay.
They're freaking out.
All right.
But they said, it's everyone's sky.
It's everyone's sky.
No Man's Sky.
All
Yeah.
Man's Sky.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's no one's. You do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want.
All right.
My goal
So you
is
can't
to
score
get
this
to the
game,
center
right?
of the
You
universe.
can't.
I'm
Just
gonna
no
get
way.
there.
It's just an art game.
You can't score
Don't
it.
worry
It's
about it.
automatic 10 by default. Because you can't score that game.
14 hours,
there's no right way to
35
play it.
minutes.
There's no wrong way to play it.
I think we're giving this
It
game
shouldn't even
to
be on store
Bloodworth
shelves.
to
No!
the
He screwed up Proteus. Don't give him this one. Because it's beautiful and you hated it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Game Trailers audience, if this kind of talking about video games interests you, may I invite you to 2 more full days of this coverage, this exhaustive.
It's gonna be a mean breezy at least tomorrow morning. It's
Yeah.
gonna be so breezy.
So yeah, I had a piece of paper in here
Yeah.
talking about some
And
stuff.
then 4 of us are going to be on the show floor
Yeah.
battling it out to say who's going to get impressions.
Yeah.
So yeah, tons of us are going to the show floor tomorrow. I will be there. We have Platinum Games coming by tomorrow. We have Square Enix.
Oh, do we
coming
know what
by
they're
tomorrow
showing?
to demo
It's not
games.
unannounced anymore. What are they showing?
Well, they've announced some things. I don't know. They haven't specifically said what they're going to bring
It's
by.
gotta be Transformers, I guess.
They might bring some to demo. They might bring some B-roll and do some interviews.
Yeah, it's not near. It has to be Transformers.
Sure.
Hey, Transformers. There we go from Platinum. Checking that out tomorrow. Hopefully, Mr. Craig Skistimus from Screw Attack will be stopping by on his way out of Los Angeles. It's the last thing his last appointment for E3. He will be stopping by.
We gotta grill him on Shenmue. He's grumpy about Shenmue.
What?
Oh.
Yeah.
You will not be there for that, unfortunately, Mr. Huber.
Good. Wait, why?
We don't need a death.
I'll
on
just
a
say
live
because it's a
stream.
Kickstarter. He's grumpy that it's a Kickstarter. Oh my god. So we'll get in there. We'll dig in with them.
So yeah,
Dig in.
lots more feelings to be hurt, lots
Yeah.
more arguments to be had, lots more games to play. I mean, even if we get to the end of the day on Thursday, there's still so many games that we're gonna miss.
Yeah.
Lots more coverage. We are going overtime. We are 20 minutes overtime because we're screaming at each other. We will get back to screaming at each other, and I will see you tomorrow evening. You will be back, Mr. Kyle Bossman and Elise Willems here on GT Live at E3 2015. Bless you for watching. Bless you for watching at any time of any day. We really appreciate it. We love you checking out our coverage, and we will talk to you later. We will see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.